weapon, right? Because if you start a fight and use your weapon,
Chuck comes online and he says he wants to be a martyr, he wants to be a leader of a movement, and is having the opposite effect. They're now trying to kick him out their movement. They're now trying to kick him out of what they're doing because they feel like what he's doing is having a negative impact on what they're doing. They've spent all this time spewing bad propaganda against black folks. They spent all this time telling black folks how racism is a myth, it don't exist. They spent all this time conditioning their audience to think that black folks don't deal with anything. We just wake up and complain. They've conditioned their audience to look at black folks as perpetual complainers with no accountability, and we just love to be victims. Those narratives is being completely dismantled by Chud in real time. How do you tell your audience racism don't exist? Man, they just be complaining. And then your audience turn on Twitter and they see Chud going around calling black folks the hard N-word. How do you now condition your audience to think that the struggles that black folks deal with don't exist? You can't anymore, which is why they're desperately now trying to stop Chud, because they understand that Chud is exposing how they all feel. They've been hiding their racism behind performative niceness for decades, right? People like Ben Shapiro, people like Nick Fuentes and others will do this whole spiel on how we're all God's children, while at the same time spewing black folks have lower IQs, black folks are inherently violent. You know, this is a white man's country, man. I'm not saying we can't live together. I'm just saying it hasn't been working and we're not gonna leave. So, right? They hide their racism behind performative niceness. Chud is just putting on a depiction and a performance of their true intentions and true hearts, and they can't stand it.
you're gonna lose a self-defense argument, right? The first thing you do in any situation is try to get out of the situation. If you're looking for a legal defense, right? You have to do everything in your power to not use your weapon in order to have a self-defense argument. What about stand your ground? Even in stand your ground, even in Texas, right? I can't just shoot somebody because they got near me, right? That's not self-defense. You have to think that they're a reasonable threat to your safety, but you can't create the threat. If you do that, here's what's going to happen. They're going to go to jail, right? Obviously, for either assault or murder, right? But let's say you live, and let's say you want to sue them for assault. Let's say you want to go after them for beating you up. The defense is going to screen record hours of you calling black people the hard R, going into neighborhoods intentionally with a gun on you and pepper spray, starting fights, calling them the hard R, saying they're chimping out, and they are coming back and they're going to go, are you out of your friggin' mind?
Stop scrolling. These animals need a makeover. Welcome to Animal Hair Salon.
You're never winning that case. And then they will have a countersuit. You'll lose. I'm trying to help you because you are dumb.
Also, I'm going to tell black people this because this dude even called a lawyer to convince black people that what Chud is doing is unethical and illegal and we shouldn't be scared. Man, don't fall for the okie doke, bro. Man, all right, man. Hey, listen, man. That white boy got a gun on him, calling you the N-word. Man, walk the other way, bro. Don't fall for the okie doke, bro. Don't let this racist convince you, hey, man, you can fight back and legally he can't shoot you, man. All right, bro, man, we not going for that, man. We not falling for the okie dokie, bro. What you mean? What, man, hey, listen, I don't trust the intentions of none of these people, bro. All right, so if he's calling lawyers and working this hard to convince us that Chud can't legally shoot us and we don't have to back down, man, I'm not going for that, man. You better not. You better not attack that white man if he got a gun on him, bro. You better not attack that racist white boy, man. You better not. He's already looking for a reason to make one of us a casualty. Man, don't do it. Man, walk the other way. Ignore his ass, man. But here is the call with an attorney that's confirming like what Chud is doing is illegal, and he don't have no ground to stand on for a self-defense case.
Or if he was to shoot them and kill them, would he have a self-defense argument? Like what
state is it?
Tennessee. So basically,
it's going to depend on the Tennessee code, which I'm sure you probably looked up and are going to tell me. But
I just sent it to you.
There's a certain amount of incitement of the violence, and there's a certain amount of basically, you're looking at, did the person who came at them feel threatened by his behavior to the point that they actually are defending themselves? That's the question.
Sure. So Tennessee Penal Code 39-11-611 says a person loses the right to claim self-defense if they provoked or initiated the confrontation. So he has...
So there you go. So that sounds basically like a requirement to retreat type of statute, where you don't get to go and basically wind people up and threaten them to the point that they are afraid of how aggressive you are, and then claim self-defense when they do act on how threatened they feel, if that makes sense.
Now, the argument that these people are making is it's free speech. Oh, well, she'll call back.
Well, because my phone was gone silent and I could hear it ringing.
Yeah, no, I figured your phone. I figured your phone died. So as I was saying, right, the argument people are giving is that racial slurs are still protected speech, right? So what would you say to that argument?
If racial slurs are protected speech?
Yeah, so considering this is their argument, I think it's stupid, but you're a lawyer, so I'm just trying to get the legal side. They're saying because racial slurs are protected speech, the person can't be retaliated against for their words, even if they're mean words.
I mean, here's the problem. Racial slurs may be protected speech as far as protecting you from actions by the government.
Thank you.
But it is still hate speech.
Yeah, right? I know, and I don't believe in hate speech, and I don't even think that you technically do either. You're talking about the actions of.
Whoa, dear, look, hate speech. No. You've gone too far advocating for black folks now, lady. Bro, these people are performative, bro. Right? They're ridiculous. They're idiots. This man, he's putting on this fake centrist act that a lot of these alt-right white nationalists put on, like where they come online and they make friends with other alt-right black folks, and they say, "I'm not racist. I'm not Tommy. It's my friend. I'm not racist. Tommy, my friend Tommy, and not Tommy Sotomayor, the other Tommy. All right, who eat butter biscuits like no other. Right? They put on this." We're all God's children. I don't see color act. When in fact, no. Right? Like he gets to acting like he's advocating for black folks as soon as the lawyer brings up hate speech. Hey, hold on now, bro. Hate speech, hold on. Man, all right, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do y'all even care? Do y'all give a damn? Do y'all want to give this dude credit? Or do y'all feel like, we don't need no white supremacists to advocate for us? We good. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out why Hassan Campbell is accusing academics of something very serious. I'm going to see you guys in this Hassan Campbell and academics video. Please send me a hype to this video. I see everybody who send me a hype because they notify us. I really appreciate it. Real one, send me a hype, please. I'm going to see you guys in this academics and Hassan Campbell video. Out of here, folks. Peace.
There's one thing you need to know if you're looking to get a trademark. Use LegalZoom. When I was building my business, I knew I needed a trademark to protect my name, logo, and slogan. But it felt expensive and hard, and I wasn't even sure where to start. A friend recommended LegalZoom, where you can choose what you want to trademark, and they'll connect you with a trademark attorney to handle everything. As a new business owner, every decision and every dollar is important. I was happy to see that LegalZoom was well within my budget, and they've done this a lot, so there wasn't any guesswork on my side. Now I can focus on growing my business, knowing that everything I'm building is protected. When you need a legal hand, turn to LegalZoom. Start your trademark filings.
Former President Barack Obama is finally breaking his silence as Donald Trump's so-called blockade of the Persian Gulf is blowing up and resulting in an escalation of hostilities in Iran. Donald Trump's catastrophic and unlawful war in Iran now is continuing to spiral out of control, and Donald Trump doesn't have a plan. And finally, former President Obama is weighing in. He gave an incredibly powerful interview to the New Yorker. The author of this article, Peter Slevin, interviewed former President Obama. The article was called "Barack Obama Considers His Role in the Age of Trump. The Former President Remains One of the Most Popular Politicians in the Country. What are his obligations to it?" And initially, the article contrasts the fact that Donald Trump's approval is essentially the lowest in presidential history at this point, even lower than Richard Nixon at the time that Nixon resigned. And he compares it to former President Obama's current popularity, which is through the roof. Not just among Democrats, where it's approaching 100%, but among independents, it's incredibly high. Even Republicans who are not full MAGA have a positive feeling about former President Obama. So what did he tell the New Yorker, and how did he lay out and fillet Donald Trump? Let me explain to you some of the key quotes from this article. They are indeed powerful. Former President Obama says that, "I believe American leadership, as represented by the American president, has to reflect a basic regard for human dignity and decency, not just within our own borders, but beyond." He says that Donald Trump essentially reflects the worst of America. That's part of the responsibility of leadership, Obama says. Decency. And if we are not giving a voice to those core values, that there are innocent people in countries with terrible governments, and we have to care about those people, we can make mistakes if we are not guarding against hubris and pure self-interest. If we don't have those things, the world can break in very bad ways. It's what we talk about on the Midas Touch Network all of the time. Values and principles, empathy and decency, which Donald Trump completely lacks. Regardless of your political party, we should strive to be decent people. We should strive for peace. We should strive to be caring and to reach out, not bully marginalized communities, but lift people up and try to understand and certainly respect the shared humanity of all of us in this world. Then Obama drops some truth bombs about Netanyahu and how Netanyahu tried to extort Obama into going to war with Iran and doing the exact thing Netanyahu has been doing with Donald Trump, and how Obama resisted it. Obama says, "I think my prognosis was correct when I rejected Netanyahu trying to get us to go to war with Iran." It may be that Netanyahu now has gotten what he wanted with Donald Trump, but whether that's what is ultimately in the best interest for the Israeli people, I would question that. And I don't even think he needs to say, "I would question that." Let me answer that. What Netanyahu has done has been horrific for the entire world. Let's not mince words. Netanyahu is a war criminal. Donald Trump is a war criminal, and they both deserve to be tried in The Hague forthwith. He doesn't say that, I said that. Obama goes on to say, whether that's what is ultimately best for the Israeli people, I would question that. Whether I think it's what is good for the United States and America, I would question that. It is certainly not good for the United States of America. Obama goes on to say, "I think there's ample record of my differences with Netanyahu, and Obama talks about how he resisted exactly what Netanyahu is now doing with Donald Trump, and Obama predicted exactly what was going to happen when Obama spoke with his advisors. Obama said regarding America's standing in the world, Obama goes, America's allies can no longer count on us being the hub of that international order. The tragedy of this all is that there is still no one that can replace us. If we don't talk about human rights don't get talked about that much. If we aren't concerned about climate change, truthfully, other countries can give lip service to it and do some things, but they're not really going to tackle it. So our leadership is still going to matter enormously, but it's probably going to start with leadership by example more than anything else, rather than dictates. Strong words from the former president saying American allies can no longer count on us. It is a simple statement, but it is the truth. That he goes on to talk about how Donald Trump threatened war against Canada with 51st state rhetoric, war against Greenland. We're going to
It's your boy Hecka Steve. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're talking about Chase After the Right Price, his video from 3 days ago, making amends with a game store. So I fast forwarded to the end because I just want to get this point across real quick. But we are going to watch some clips from the video after that, so just hang tight.
There it is. Memory card adapter, PS2 to PS3 for $299. Those things sell all day for $60. Well, I saw it. I was like, is that the memory card adapter? He's like, yep, memory card adapter. I'll take that. That was a huge score, so that ended up being a great stop. Some of you guys may remember a video that we put out about 2 years ago now. It's actually at this store. They found out that we had an online shop and then actually refused to sell to us. Long story short, I came back later and they were like, okay, we'll sell it to you, but you can't have any discounts. And it was just kind of a weird feeling that it gave, especially since the business model of the store is reselling. Apparently, about a year ago, these stores got bought out by a new owner who enjoys selling things and has kind of a different approach to resellers. Between the store we went to this morning and the store here right now, it really excites me because the culture has shifted. It feels more inviting, kind of less toxic, and there's a lot more of a collaboration between...
Okay, I just want you to keep in mind that in this video, he bought over 100 games, or close to 100 games, and this is just one day, and he's just one reseller. And you know there's thousands of resellers at this point all over the place. So here's the freaking problem that I have with Chase After the Right Price, who somehow is a skinny dude with a double chin. All right, so let's talk about retail stores. So he said that, you know, the whole business model of the store is reselling, and that is true. But there's a lot of differences between what he does and what they do. First of all, I mean, they're selling at what the current price charting value is, or close to it. And he's coming in and he is buying it, and then he's going to sell it for 150 to 200% markup, whether it be on Amazon or on whatnot. But here is the big problem that I have with the resellers that buy from the stores, like Chase After the Right Price, obviously, RJC Media, you know, he goes to GameStop all the time, and even Caleb Phoenix Resale, you know, he buys from stores too. When these dudes go in here and they nitpick and buy every single desirable game that has been price gouged out the ass by these motherfuckers, like the Pokemon games, you know, whatever it may be. There's a lot of different ones. And, you know, him being a Pokemon collector in general is just kind of fucked up that he would even want to, you know, support that, you know, for his own benefit. But I guess he likes money more than Pokemon. But the problem with this shit is, yeah, it's great. He gets the store, big sales. You know, even if they offer him a discount, which they usually do, you know, they still make a good amount of money off of it, and that's great. And you can see that part of it. But then let's say, like, Timmy comes in, right? They walk in the store and they're like, yeah, I see a lot of the usual stuff that you see in a game store. Nothing really catching my eye here, so I guess I won't buy anything. There's none of this highly, like, desired video games. So then they, like, leave, and then, like, they may not come back for a week, they may not come back for a month, you know, hoping that better stock will come in. But, you know, of course, Chase, probably on the regular, will come into the store and just continue to take all those games. So You see what I'm saying? Like, regular customers are not going to want to shop at these stores anymore because they never have anything that's worth a shit to them. It's always the same common games that you find everywhere because Chase and his fucking reseller buddies and all the fucking resellers that go to stores and buy up all their good shit, you know, they fuck this up. And the stores are okay with doing it because, you know, they see it as promotion or they see it as like a sale, you know, even if they do give them like 10 to 20% off, you know, because usually they ask for a discount. But yeah, in the long run, what it does is it eliminates the foot traffic from your fucking retail store. So yeah, go ahead and rub Chase the right way for the right price. But all of your regular customers are just going to stop coming there all the time. And they're going to stop buying shit from you because you never have anything worth it. So like when you let these resellers come into your store and you let them buy all your Pokemon games and all of your Fire Emblems and all of your, you know, whatever the fuck. I can't think today on other rare games that aren't Pokemon or Fire Emblem. Yeah, in the short term, you're getting a couple of dollars because you're selling stuff to these resellers, but in the long term, you're losing customers because you're not going to have anything worth a fuck for them to want to come back to the store to find. So yeah, I just wanted to get that point across before we jump into the video. All right, then this comment thread right here, man, just blows my mind. But it says, usually love your videos, but this one doesn't hit. I applauded the original store for declining to sell to resellers, and by doing so, allowing regular consumers to have more of a chance to get what they want at a decent price. That is common sense right there. That is a good comment. And that's true. That's exactly true. That's the issue that I have. But then you have the reseller defenders come in. That doesn't make sense. There is nothing wrong with reselling. It's the oldest trade since the existence of time. The store that turned them away originally is a reseller. All these small independent game stores vendors are resellers. See, they think that they're exactly the same as the store, but you're not. You're not the same as the fucking store. The retail store supports a community. Chase buys from that store and sells it on Whatnot and Amazon, not the community. That's a huge difference. He does not support the local community. In fact, he wants to hurt the local community unless they want to buy from him on Whatnot. Yeah, so I'm just tired of resellers and reseller defenders trying to compare a retail store that is a reseller to a fucking reseller that just walks around yard sales and buys things for cheap and then sells them online for more money. That is not the same. That is completely different. Then you've got people who think it's good for them not to sell to resellers, but the reality is it's business. You bet your ass it's 2025. If you have a brick and mortar store and want to survive, you're selling to anyone you can. With any attitude where you're going to nitpick who you sell to, your business would be under in no time. Every business themselves is a reseller. To be high and mighty not to sell to other people running a resale business is absolutely absurd. Okay, well then they should pay you sticker price. Stop giving resellers the discounts and then sell to them. But no, that's the thing is the resellers want the discounts and otherwise they won't buy there. And then they shove the fucking camera in the store's face and then the store kind of feels obligated to do it because they don't want their reputation ruined because they didn't rub fucking Chase the right way. Because you know goddamn well that if he was filming them and they're like, nah, you have to pay whatever the sticker is, if he wanted to make a big stink about it in his video, it would piss off all you little fucking bitches and y'all would just go and like review bomb the fucking store. So yeah, of course the store is going to give them a discount. So they're still technically losing out on money, but they're hoping that they at least maintain a good reputation because the reseller / YouTuber is not bad-mouthing them and their audience won't try to retaliate. If anything, the resellers buy more than the average Joe would cause them to make more money for their little shop. See, this is a dumbass motherfucker right here. Do you even smoke, bro? Stupid motherfucker. They're buying all of the shit that people would want to buy. So when there's not that shit there at the store, they're not going to fucking buy anything. So yeah, the reseller buys a bunch of stuff, but that one sale is not going to make up for the fact that the entire store is going to suffer in the long run due to the fact that all of the desired games have been bought up. To me, there's a big difference between what Chase is doing and people that buy new products that just came out for 10 times the price. Kind of like when the PS5 came out and no one could get it. So people will use bots online to get all the inventory and then sell them for way, way more money. No, it's not different. It's the exact fucking thing. Because Chase is buying the game, let's say for $20, and he's going to sell it for $40 to $50 on his little platform. It's price gouging. It's scalping. It's the same goddamn fucking thing. It doesn't matter if the product's new or pre-owned. It's the same fucking thing. I'm tired of fucking people not getting that through their head. A scalper is a reseller. A price gouger is a reseller. And a reseller is a reseller. It's simple. It's not fucking... You don't have to be super smart to understand that. Oh, and I didn't know this until recently, but apparently Chase has his own website now with a buy list on it, so it's just like copycatting Phoenix Resale at this point.
Pay $3 for my Warfare, $6 for Infinite Warfare. There you go. Spend $5 there. I do buy this one for $5. They have 4 of them. I guess I'll take them. And we should be able to add, like...
See that right there? I mean, not even regular games are fucking safe nowadays. Now, here's one that I don't understand. I mean, look at this diseased penis holding these 2 Guitar Hero Live copies for $9.99. So what's the trend with buying the Guitar Hero Live game? Because, like, I know Caleb has been doing that too, but the thing is, like, there's only like 42 songs on there because there was an online service that had hundreds of songs, but obviously when the game was shut down, that became obsolete. So why are they buying these up, and who's buying them to profit, or for them to profit off of to begin with?
Game Boy Player, Brother Dave. One of my favorite accessories of all time. Play the GBA on GameCube. They got it for $139.99 with the disc. Hallelujah. You never see the disc. You usually just see the player. I'm going to buy that and should be able to add like $50.
So there you go right there. I mean, dude's getting excited because he sees a Game Boy Player, not because it's a Game Boy Player, but because he knows the Game Boy Player can make him, it was $139. He said he's going to make $50 off of that, so he's going to sell it for what, like $190 or $200? Yeah, I mean, it's just fucked up. And that kind of excitement is what an actual gamer that doesn't resale would feel. But, you know, Chase, of course, has robbed that experience from whoever it would have been. Not to mention the fact that there are dozens and dozens of people that are doing this daily across the U.S. Okay, so don't feel like it's solely Chase's fault. I know I have to like fully explain every fucking hypothetical, you know, so that you guys have to really know rebuttal to it in the comments. Of course, you'll find a way for sure. But yeah, it's just bullshit. And I can't believe that stores are cool with this. And you know what? I know some stores that don't like to sell to resellers. And in fact, when I worked at a store years ago, and there were only like 2 or 3 resellers that we had to deal with, I fucking hated when I saw those people. Because they would do what Phoenix Resale does. They would trade in a bunch of garbage, like shit that's going to sit on the shelves for months and months, maybe even years. And then they would use the store credit to buy all of the cool things that people would actually want so they could flip it online to try. Oh, does it come with the player? Alright, that's it. Okay. Then doesn't have. Oh, I got a pass. You're not excited about it being a Game Boy Player anymore, are you? Because you don't get to make money off of it. You fucking bastard. You fucking slut dick. You probably suck so much dick that your fucking mouth is constantly dry. No matter how much water you drink. No matter how much fancy Fiji water. Shout out James. Always making fun of me for drinking Fiji water. This is a 1.5 liters, man. So I was able to go behind the counter, get a bunch of extra controllers, adapters, PlayStation Move. I got a CID GoldenEye M64 with the super food. A Game Boy Player was actually only $25.
Bluetooth connected.
That's one of those where I'll probably sell it back separate, like break even, and get $20 for it. Not more. Okay.
Man, I don't even know why you would do that. Like, you know, who fucking buys from him? And also, this is a good time to point out about his whatnot. He doesn't always show up to his own whatnot sales. He has his crew do it. In fact, I think I've only seen him on his whatnot sales one time, so he can't even be bothered to talk to his fans or even show up every time for his whatnot sales. even though they make thousands and thousands of dollars.
This stack, if you guys could make like 75%, I would do that all day.
Okay, so you got to assume that they probably paid 50% on average price charting value for that stuff. He is going to sell it for 150 to 200% on average price charting value. So why does he really need 25% off, when he's already, looking to double anyways? Other than just asking because he knows that they'll probably say yes because there's a fucking camera on them. And it looks like they're inside of a shoebox with this store, so they cannot risk any kind of bad rep because they are slowly growing their business here. And that's obviously some good shit. I mean, Super Mario World's on top. You could just imagine what the other stuff is. I don't know if he actually shows it, but if he does, I'll be sure to put it on the screen.
Okay. And then I don't.
Oh, but yeah, once again, he's buying some Zelda, with Mario and shit, just all the good shit. Just all the good shit. Alright, man, it's a good chance that this store is probably going to shut down in like 6 months. I hate to say that, but, I mean, he is still there. Not only does he have a big cartridge stack, but then he's got a bunch of Wii U titles, Super Mario Maker, Smash Bros, Sonic, Captain Toad, but then he's getting, some fucking Zelda games for the Wii. Like, it's just a complete rape of this store's inventory. They're going to be left with basically nothing good to sell. And like I said, man, that's just going to not create long-term customers. So good luck running your whole fucking business based on chase after the right price shopping at your store. That's a horrible way to do business, you fucking morons.
Okay, so this stack, I think I'm going to make them an offer of closer to 60% of asking price. And let's see what they say.
What a fucking evil person. You know that the store probably paid 50%. And now you're adding Mario Sunshine to it. You're gonna offer them 60% to buy it all? What fucking egotistical, I've got a lot of money in my pocket, fucking confidence shit is that? I feel bad for these people, man. And of course they're gonna take it. Like I said, they don't want the bad rep, and they need the money that they can get because they're desperate. That's another thing about these resellers that we don't talk about a lot. They prey on these stores. So not only do they hurt customers by taking all the good shit, but they hurt the fucking businesses too. And they don't give a fuck. They don't care. As long as their whatnot has stuff to sell, and they have tons of people showing up to overpay for things, they're going to keep doing this. And it just depresses me the fuck out, and it makes me want to just be a modern gamer and just say, to hell with the retro stuff, just emulate. And honestly, I think that I just hold on to wanting to collect retro games because I don't want to be pushed out by a fucking reseller or like a reseller culture. These people just, and that's the thing too, is like you can be a good reseller. I think that anybody that owns a brick and mortar store for the most part is generally good because they're looking to create a community. And, they profit and they may not offer the best trading values at times, but a lot of the stores actually do a good job with all of that. I guess I would just say in closing, don't chase after the right price.
crypto paradise, my friends. Believe it or not, the scam artists behind the Trump family crypto scam are being sued by one of their scam artist partners. I mean, who could have seen that coming?
A Chinese crypto mogul is suing a crypto firm co-founded by President Trump and his family for alleged fraud. Justin Sun is accusing the World Liberty Financial of freezing his investment to pressure him into promoting one of its other offerings. Now Eric Trump is calling the suit ridiculous.
They sold you freedom from the elites and a chance to ride with the Trump family into the brave new world of crypto. But instead, the app never launched, token is tanking, and one of their biggest bankers is publicly calling himself now a victim. As usual, with anything Trump-related, there is so much more to this story, not the least of which is the future of the U.S. currency regime. I'm Max from UNFTR for the Midas Touch Network. Let's get into it, shall we? Last year, we walked you through the Trump family crypto empire, a DeFi company called World Liberty Financial, a stablecoin called USD1, meme coins and NFTs with Trump's face, and a flood of dark foreign money that wasn't revealed until after his election. Well, today, to no surprise, that machine is sputtering in public and is turning off the World Liberty Financial, and it's exposing exactly how this scam was from day one. Before we get to how it's unraveling and what it means in the big picture, let's do a quick refresh on how the scam was constructed and what they're still trying to pull off, because it truly remains one of the biggest financial scandals in modern history, and it's still going on. World Liberty Financial, WLFI, is the Trump family's decentralized finance or DeFi plan. You take what a bank does, like loans and payments and transfers, and you rebuild it on the blockchain so that no one's in charge and everyone's in charge and everything's transparent. Lovely. WLFI launched in 2024, right in the middle of the presidential campaign, as you might remember. And on paper, the company is owned by the Trumps and their friends, the Witkoffs, who are negotiating the deal in Iran for this reason, and a few strategic partners to do. In reality, up to 86% of the equity started in this hands. And they rolled out two main products: WLFI governance tokens, which are supposed to give you a say in how the platform is run, and USD1, a Trump-branded stablecoin pegged to the dollar that ended up starring in a multi-billion-dollar deal with Binance. At the same time, Trump is openly campaigning as the crypto president, promising to unleash the industry, tutor the regulators, and make America the crypto capital of the world. Once back in office, he did that. Enforcement cases were suddenly dropped, oversight was gutted. Industry insiders were invited to help write new rules, even as they were pumping money into Trump-funded projects and pro-Trump acts. Ridiculous. So the result is a crypto empire with multiple holdings, right? Token coins, NFTs, mining, social spin-offs, all sitting on top of the federal government's rulebook, which Trump now edits in real time. So now let's walk through what World Liberty has actually accomplished. First of all, raising money, and a lot of it. So shortly after they launched, World Liberty started selling WLFI tokens. They would pitch these digital assets that let you vote on key decisions in the protocol. And that's nothing new. That's what a lot of these tokens do. So it's not necessarily stock, right? There's no ownership, but they are tradable. So if you can find somebody else to buy your bag of tokens, there is value. And in total, that token sale pulled in more than $550 million. And according to Trump's own financial disclosure, he personally had at least $57 million worth of tokens by June 2025. And that's just really cool, right? Then comes the equity. When World Liberty was created, the Trumps controlled up to 86% of the stock. 4 days for the inauguration. The brother of the ruler of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Tamim bin Zayed, finally bought 49% for $500 million. So the Trump family walked away with at least $187 million from that deal alone. Before the inauguration. 4 days. 4 days before the inauguration. 4 days. Now, the Sheikh isn't some anonymous investor. He's the national security advisor for the UAE. He chairs $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund that puts money behind investments like SpaceX and BlackRock, OpenAI, TikTok. Oh yeah, and Jared Kushner. So you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see the conflict of interest. You just have to ask why a foreign security chief would spend $500 million to buy the president's silence. So the question, of course, is what did he build with all of that hype and all of that cash? You're not going to believe it. Not much. No mass market banking revolution, no user-friendly freedom from woke banks, no evidence that the average American has gained any meaningful new financial tool. Instead, they did accomplish two things. They issued the governance tokens that were supposed to give holders to say over how the protocols run, even though there's going to be about 10 votes and none of them on anything meaningful. And second, they created USD, the stablecoin, pegged to the dollar. And the big break came when the same Shape's investment vehicle used USD1 to route a $2 billion deal into Congress. That single transaction gave USD1 instant legitimacy and volume, and conveniently deepened the financial ties between the Trump family's crypto project and one of the most controversial exchanges on the planet. So let's zoom out for a second, because this is actually more than a Trump family scandal. It poses a much bigger fight over who runs the dollar in the digital world. Now, if you didn't see our original recording, aren't familiar with this crypto, the stablecoin is just a dollar IOU put on the blockchain. You send a company $1 real, they have to park it in something safe, cash, treasury bills, something like that. And when they give you a token, it's worth that same dollar at the same time. You can use that token around the world in seconds, swap it in and out of crypto, and treat it like synthetic cash. There's a ton of value to this because it truly does increase the speed, access, and mobility of financial transactions, and it eliminates some really costly intermediaries. And right now, almost all of these things are dollar stablecoins. They're not built on the euro or the yuan. They're dollars. Now, this is in contrast to what the BRICS nations are trying to build, by the way, because we've pissed off so many countries that we've run the risk of breaking this dollar-dominant system, but it's still in the early stages, but that's when we're dead. Downside is that they can also operate like shadow dollars that live outside the banking system. The crypto traders use them as fast collateral, and offshore money uses them as a backdoor into the safety without touching U.S. banks. So there are still open. But one thing the administration can handle, not just dollar-based stablecoins, is a Trojan horse for dollar demand, similar to the petrol, for example. And by extension, treasury demand, and these stablecoins are used to purchase treasuries. Because when you issue a big stablecoin, your reserves aren't just sitting in a shoebox. They're mostly in short-term treasuries, which are IOUs from the government. And the more stablecoins are out there, hidden demand there is for those IOUs, and the more deeply wired the dollar stays into global finance. So this is where it gets super tricky. When the Fed issues dollars, it holds interest-bearing assets and then sends the profits, what economists call seigniorage, back into the system to cover for us. And private stablecoin issuers do the same thing. It keeps that interest for itself. So this is how the Fed is self-sustaining. It's how it makes money. It mints these dollars, and there's a fee if you take them. They keep that fee. That's how they run. The same thing goes for the stable coins. They mint these stable coins. There's a tiny fee to put them out into the world, and then whoever...
That nigga bored.
If you're serious about starting an eBay business, but you don't have a strategy in place to get yourself to $10,000 a month in sales, chances are you're going to end up like all of the other eBay sellers, making the same mistakes and eventually quitting because you weren't able to make consistent sales. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to give you my strategy that I've used for the last 3 years. It's been able to generate me $10,000 per month in sales. I work 20 hours a week with a 600-item store, and I'm only doing it by myself. So as this video goes on, it's going to get more and more valuable, and if you already got $1,000 per month in sales, this video could 10x your sales. Now, I feel like it's really important to have a chat about some things to ignore on your journey to $10,000 a month in sales. And the first one is going to be cross-listing. I personally don't believe that you need to cross-list or try and sell on any other platform out there. If you put all of your time and attention into eBay, There are enough customers out there to be able to buy your items and generate billions of dollars worth of revenue keep it happy yourself. So you don't need to be doing that. You also don't need to be selling on Facebook Marketplace. I think Facebook is a fantastic area to go and source for items for your eBay business. But again, it's kind of like cross-listing. You're using a local service of Facebook Marketplace to attempt to sell goods. And I think you can stop doing that. And again, just center all of that focus on your eBay business. And then thirdly, in relation to eBay itself, I have a big rule to not list anything under $20. A lot of the conversation in today's video is going to be not only about the finances of achieving $20 a month. We're going to be doing this to try and get you to do it in 20 hours or less. So time is going to be a huge factor, and you can burn up a lot of time by listing up items worth less than $20.
That comes on with your time.
We're going to break this strategy up into 3 different stages. And
what's that?
Yourself
Oh, shit.
right it. The first stage is the training wheels stage. Now,
Dear Black people,
Dear Black people.
what do you want?
Talk about.
We is watching Toby. Leave us the hell alone. I just told y'all that we are on break. We'll be back right around 2029. I don't know. We are on break. Leave us alone. We ain't bothering nobody. We is in this bed. We is watching Tubi. We got some good snacks. Leave us the hell alone.
ICE protesting. Are you shocked that black people are not out there protesting?
No, I would have made people on there to Auntie Buffy saying, stay your black ass home.
Dear black people, even though America is falling apart, we do not give a fuck.
Hello, brothers and sisters. You know, they are used to blaming everything the black people. Now, everything Coachella failed, they blamed it on the black community. Now, the Loggins project, actually, majority of the parts didn't go as planned. They blamed it on the black community. Now, the reason the
supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go right now?
It's we on break trend. Oh my goodness. Chef's kiss. I love it. I love to see it. And no matter what the reasoning is, we have finally learned the trick of the enemy. And these emotional tactics are not working. So please stop calling black people, black women, black men. We on break. We not on the front line for the Democrats. Because that's what they want. Want us to be on the front line, taking all the bullets. I just really think the gaslighting has reached its limit. And black people are just like, we're not going to do it. We're not doing it. We not the footmen. We not the soldiers. Get somebody else to do it. And I love to see that. So Democrats want to rebrand with Jasmine Crockett, and she's down for it. So, hey, kudos to her. But sis, just keep in mind that while you're playing the game of politics, just make sure you don't get played. Because that is usually what happens.
The last few days, there has been this conversation online in where some Latinos are upset that there are some black folk that are not going out to protest. I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, and I ask you to please keep an open mind. If you're Latino and you're upset that you believe that there aren't black people out there protesting in support of the Latino and undocumented community, you need to shut up because you're wrong and you're pretty much biased. Because the reality is that, yes, there are some black people out there protesting together with Latinos. So I don't know why you're so focused on some people online saying that they're not going to go out there. When in reality, you got to remember that it was a majority of members of our own community that voted to elect the fool that's in presidency right now. And that the majority of black folk were against the current president right now. And that was reflected in the election polls. So instead of believing this narrative that seems to be existing online, go out there in the street and you'll see that there are black people protesting with Latinos. So either you need probably more black friends or to be around more black people to realize that, yes, they are out there and that there are current black folks showing their support. You need to understand that Latinos are not a monolith, black folk are not a monolith, and putting this expectation on another group when members of our own group are the ops. Understand that a lot of the movements we see today, black folk organizing have been the template for that. And do not ever forget that the 14th Amendment that gives us, the children of immigrants, the right to be U.S. citizens by being born here on U.S. soil is thanks to black people who have advocated, who have protested to be treated like U.S. citizens in a country that did not see them as such during its foundation.
What we're not doing is shedding any more black blood. No, it's the white people problem. It is. It's fine. We've done it forever. It's not like we've not given them the playbook. Go back and look at what we did in the 60s. Our ancestors did. Y'all need to figure it out. Because and you know, now they shooting them too. But, you know, plenty of us shot. So it's y'all. He knows. No, I'm real. Like, it is what it is. I think we can advocate on social media. I think we can work behind the scenes. I think we can fund GoFundMe accounts for people that get harmed. I don't think black people should be using shit.
So as an Afro-Latino, I want to address the Latino community. The reason why BOK people don't want to stand in solidarity with us, but they do support it. Staying at home and talking about it is just as important enough, right? Here's another issue. Whenever black people have gone out to these types of protests, and they've done it multiple times, whenever they go out, they're used as human shields. That's one. Two, they always become the targeted people, and they are then their actions are used against them for them to be called violent. Three, we as Latinos need to deconstruct the anti-blackness. One. Two, the white supremacy that we have in our countries. Why? Because colorism is an issue. And I keep saying this, I cannot stress this enough, right? We cannot ostracize people who don't want to come. If black people are telling us why they don't want to show up, it's not time for us to plug in our ears. They're explaining to us exactly why not, and this is our chance as Latinos to hear them out, to hear their cries. Because when the MLK movement happened, it wasn't the time. When BLM happened, it wasn't the time. And now we're sitting here saying the same thing again, that right now is not the time to be divisive, which is one thing I'm going to stop saying. I think it's the perfect time to address it. Retracted my statements. It's the perfect time to address it. And it's the perfect time to get more unity and solidarity. But we have to address the issues within our own community.
This effort to get black people not involved with unified political struggle is one that serves white supremacy. The ICE raids that are happening in LA right now are symptomatic of a bigger problem of white supremacy. And white supremacy anywhere is a threat to everyone, everywhere. So if you're deciding to sit this one out because your black face on white supremacy didn't win the election, you were never with us to begin with, and are just looking for an easy outlet to blame in immigrants. And you justify your own inaction when you don't really do anything except vote every 4 years anyway, while at the same time trying to isolate black people as if we haven't had racial solidarity in the past. Also, we're easier to exploit by white supremacy and capitalism. And the gag being they deporting black people too. But what the fuck are y'all really doing? Sitting out is a fucking privilege. Frankly, black people can't afford to take. Oh, but there's some people who are anti-black in the Mexican movement. Bro, there are black people who are anti-black in the black movement. Don't get to pick and choose what justice is justice. Either you're with us or you're not.
A lot of people got mad at me when I said this is not black people's fight and that we're on the couch for a reason. And I just want to remind you guys of something. This is a projection of the 2024 presidential election exit polls. And when I say this is not black people's fight, I say that because 85% of black people voted for this not to happen. And when you look at all the other races, you can tell that there's a significant amount of votes that could have stopped this from happening. When I said that y'all wasn't out there fighting for us, I'm not talking about the 41% of YT people. I'm not talking about the 52% of Hispanic Latino, the 54% of Asian, the 42% of POCs. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the 57% of YT people that voted for this and the 2% of YTs that voted for somebody completely else. I'm talking about the 46% of Hispanic Latino people that voted for this. 46%, that's dang near 1 in every 2 Hispanics who voted for this. I'm talking about the 39% of Asians. That is a significant amount for this projection. This other is POCs. And this is what gets me is that y'all lump black people and POCs together together. No, we are not together. 54% of POCs voted for this. 54%, that is literally 1 in every 2 POC who voted for that. And don't get me wrong, there's not words created to show how bad I feel about everything that's going on right now. And even though I'm saying this is not our fight, I'm still doing everything I can to show the injustices of what's going on right now. But to say that there aren't enough black people out there protesting right now is absurd to me, because we've been fighting. We've been trying to tell you guys about the injustices of what's going on, and you guys are just now seeing it. So yeah, I still stand on what I said, that black people need to be on the couch, and this is not our fight. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.
Let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American community. When I went to go talk to them, they said that we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something.
Well, contrary to their belief, we love y'all, and black people don't feel like you owe us anything, except common decency and the same respect we give to the Hispanic and Asian community. We know how you talk about us. Why you with that black guy? Your kids are going to be dark. Don't let that baby in my house. We see the hate, but we don't share that same hate for you. Hell, we don't even hate white people. We just don't fuck with racists. If you ask most black people what they want, they'll just say equality and it'll be left alone. But even when we're minding our own business, we start our own banks, we get our own neighborhoods, we build our own cities. The good old boys come and burn it down. This was Tulsa, this was Rosewood, this was Wilmington. They did it in Chicago. We had to make special books just to drive through our own country. So where can we go for peace? Gone over to Africa. They came to Africa, scooped us up, and a large influx of Asians arrived here in 1800s, Hispanics early 1900s, Polish 1870, Irish 1845, German 1820s, the rest of the world 1800s. Black people been here centuries before any of these groups, and we've been on the front lines of every single war, fighting for a country where every other group hates us. Many Asians and Hispanics move through this country unbothered because they think, because their skin is closer to white, that they have the same privilege and can treat black people the same way white people do. And this is why 40% of the Asian vote and half of the Hispanic vote went to the orange man. But the Hispanic community here learning very quickly, and they'll invade Chinatown and Koreatown and Little Japan next. And then you'll see why you perpetuate your anti-blackness that they hate just as much as us. As an enabled-bodied adult, it is your choice to have a lack of education and keep you in this ignorance of this all blacks are bad mindset. If you're taught that Malcolm X was just a writer, and MLK was just a pastor, and slavery wasn't that bad, how could you truly understand the black experience? And now they're banning black education from our schools. Does this not scream 1933? When Black Lives Matter happened back in 2020, there were thousands of people jumping on social media talking about, oh my God, how come no one ever told me about Emmett Till? How come no one ever told me about the Tuskegee Airmen or Henrietta Lacks? That's just American history to us. Once you take the time to learn about the impact that black people had on this country and the world as a whole, your viewpoint on black people will be totally different. If the media constantly told the world that the entire Hispanic experience was this photo, or the entire white experience was school shooters and serial killers, that would be fucked up, right? Well, that's how they've been doing black people for decades. That's not our history. But we're forced to learn about white history, which is mostly wars and seizing land and racism. Shit, we're about to go to war right now. You can't even become a citizen without learning that history. Everybody knows about the Boston Tea Party, the Battle of Bunker Hill, and can sing the Star-Spangled Banner, which ironically is also about war. The rockets' red glare and the bombs are bursting in the air. And can't forget racism. No refuge can save the hurling and slave from the terror of blight and gloom of the grave. Like, damn, they even killed us in the anthem and then gaslight us and call us unpatriotic if we don't want to sing it. So yes, we would love the respect of white folks who've been treating us like shit for over 400 years. We would love respect from all other people of color who wasn't dragged here but came here as immigrants at their own free will. Because when you, my fellow Asians, Hispanics, Middle Easterns, Africans, Pacific Islanders, Caribbeans, when you arrived to this cookout, your plate was already made. Black people already fought for you. We already fought for fair housing.
We already fought for freedom. We fought through Jim Crow and being able to sit at the same damn restaurant as white people. We endured the acid being poured in public schools, the lynchings, the burnings, the drownings. You could get a job or health care or an education. Black people fought for. We didn't start HBCUs because we wanted black universities. They were started because we couldn't get into white universities. And we don't complain when many of your people sit on the sidelines. But it is fucked up when you say, why they always protesting and boycotting? All the while these boycotts are benefiting you too. Now you realize when they sit down and shut the fuck up. It ain't easy when you have to go boots to the ground, facing the sea of racist cops and ICE officials with shields and guns just itching to use. Black people in America, stay your ass in the house April 5th. I'm hearing there's supposed to be millions of people marching. Stay in the house. And this is why nobody can ever tell me that TikTok is not symbolism. It's more than an app. It's literally a time. Every time they say, oh, they're going to do some shutdown or they're going to have a meeting about it, some big phenomenon happens in America. Okay, let me get this straight though, right? We already got the history of the Passover. The Israelites, they were freed, right? So you mean to tell me millions of people are going to go marching when they can literally set martial law into place right before Stay in the house. We will not be the land that gets sacrificed this go round. All right, okay? Because let me tell you something. They talking about they had to sacrifice the blood of the lamb. What is a lamb? A baby sheep. What are God's people? Sheep. Like I said, we won't be the people that sacrifice this go round. All right. Stay quiet, stay indoors, and don't even interact. All right?
I keep seeing videos talking about fascism being at our doorstep, and I'm not sure what America everyone else is living in, but fascism is already inside of the house. The democracy that we thought we had is gone. Let's start with some facts, okay? The Idaho shooter confirmed MAGA. The assassin of the Democratic lawmakers confirmed MAGA. House Republicans just passed a massive tax and spending bill designed to enrich the 1% and gut support to everyone else, including all of the people that voted for them. Pro-life, pro-vet, this bill spits in the face of both. Miami, Florida decided that they would just postpone the elections until next year. Why? Because they know their constituents are angry, and instead of facing accountability, they're holding democracy hostage. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has greenlit this administration to deport people to countries that aren't even their own countries. That's not deportation. That's human trafficking, and it's unconstitutional. And there are still so many people out here pretending like everything is normal. And it's not. We are being governed by people who view us as resources and not citizens. And that fact is regardless of which side of the political aisle you fall on. We are cogs in their profit machine and nothing more. And that includes red states too. Every time a hurricane hits, crickets, education, jobs, healthcare, all left to rot. Not because those people aren't worthy, but because they've been brainwashed willingly at this point to vote against their own interests just to own the libs. That's not smart. That's self-destruction. And don't tell me both sides. One side is literally assassinating political representatives. And no, Trump's fake assassination attempt does not count. One side is canceling elections. One side is redefining citizenship so they can strip it away from whoever they want. Trump said birthright citizenship was meant for slaves, and that alone should have stopped everyone in their tracks. It won't, because this isn't about politics anymore. This is about loyalty to a cult personality. The groupthink has taken over, and MAGA followers are so intermeshed with Trump, they view themselves as him. They view his success as their success, even though he does not care about a single one of them. He does not relate to a single one of them, and he won't take care of a single one of them. But he will utilize that groupthink and that detrimental to self-loyalty in order to ensure that he furthers his power and his wealth. He is inciting violence every single day. He's tearing families apart because they aren't from here when his family isn't even from here. His ex-wife, his wife, his children fall under the same deportation rules that he is creating and using to terrorize other people. Trump is a 34-time convicted felon who is actively committing human rights violations every single day, and people are cheering him on. Saw video footage of a detention facility in Texas full of teenagers, children, and infants, where the teens and the children are being forced to provide care for the infants. That means we have minors being forced to parent and care for other minors while they are living in deplorable conditions. No diapers, no food, but hey, they're legal, right? There is absolutely no real pro-life behind this movement. You are pro-birth because, again, you view women as resources, children to add to the cog of the machine that then they will use to fuel their power and their wealth. Like, this isn't even the full scope of the tyrannical insanity that has been occurring over the last 6 months. The chaos is so constant, most people don't even know what's going on anymore. And that's intentional. It's exhausting people into remaining silent, regardless of your political beliefs, your religious belief. Today, present day, you still support all of this. You still support the things that I listed in this video. You are brainwashed. You have lost all autonomy and are now a locked-in member of groupthink. And that will be a part of your destruction. A destruction that will come at the hands of the man that you gave power to. I feel so safe knowing that my tax dollars go towards all of this hatred and all the destruction.
Or the nigga behind me that I know is always fucking bad.
It's sickening. We have been trapped in a society that requires us to be slaves in order for our basic needs to be met, making it that much harder for us to fight back. And every day I wake up wondering, how far is it going to go? What's the
Voting Rights Act earlier today? You've got the purge of black federal workers, attacks on nonprofit funding, the whole DEI boogeyman. You got attacks on the social safety net. Overt racism is on the rise across the board, and they're tired, y'all. They are exhausted by this onslaught. And it's self-proclaimed white Christians leading the charge against them on all of these parts. So you are a white Christian. You are not deceived by Trump. We need to rally together around our black brothers and sisters right now. We need to form a wall around them, and we need to say no more. No more, because this isn't right, and we cannot stand by and do nothing as they are getting absolutely pummeled like Reconstruction just ended or something.
Are we in agreement? Yeah. But we have always been in the business of minding our business, and I just wanted to let my fellow brothers and sisters know that this is I'm sorry. We already got bigger fish to fry. And one of them is definitely learning them line there. Because baby, the time is coming, so we have to bring them boots in and stand up. So we have to celebrate. Because it's almost over. All the promises that America has made to our people, that they have never fulfilled. All the dirt and hurt and shit that's been done to black people.
Say no to stand up forever, dude. It's not good for your brain.
Right. My point, exactly. They screw America up, and they want us to fix it. So without further ado, come on and sing along. Everybody associate. America, it's all we got. All we got. Find the targets. America, it's all we got. We don't give up for you.
Y'all better mind our business.
Fucking bandits.
So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the black community is responding. The black community in mass has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway. And they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And there is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back. So the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is, this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it, what can Black see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go right now?
Bro, I need to come up. Help me, brother. Help me.
I know we done learned something.
Thank you.
Hush.
White people are trying to figure out how and why Black people have collectively withdrawn from this country, essentially.
So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way the white community is responding and how the Black community is responding. The Black community en masse has completely withdrawn.
And it's clear to me that a lot of y'all have never been in a toxic relationship. And unfortunately, I have. But let me tell you how this goes. In a toxic relationship, you usually have one person who isn't shit, right? It's usually the man. And the man is, emotionally abusive. He is a cheater. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. He gaslights. He's narcissistic. But he also has a lot of potential, right? He also can be very loving. He also promises things to come in the future, right? He also can be very exciting at times. And those things keep the woman around. But when things are bad, shit goes up, right? Windows get broken, cars get scratched up, TVs get shattered, broken glass everywhere. Just a lot of chaos in these situations at times, right? And this goes on. These ebbs and flows, these ups and downs go on for years sometimes. But at some point, the abused party in his relationship just completely wakes up and decides that he or she is over, right? And when that happens, there is no blow up. There is no broken windows. There is no shattered windshields. There is no scratched up cars. There's calm, right? There's folded clothes. There's neatly packed possessions. And that person decides to go on about their business. And that's where Black people are in this country at this point, right? Like, we're just sick of y'all shit. And we're not going to protest. We're not rioting. We're not doing none of that shit. You know what I mean? Most of us are just simply withdrawn, going on about our business.
That's not what you're in. You're undoing fine. So worry about you're really what you're now. We point on all that Black people have been protesting from time to time. People have been doing this when every other person inside it. They have been doing this when every other person was not coming out on the streets. They have been doing this without giving up. Now, this started back in the 90s, in the 1967, when we had the likes of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Those who advocated equal rights, both to the Black people and to the white people. But since that time is when
I don't want to hear you. Your voice is worse than the white. African people go under white people on the totem pole. Don't ask me how it makes sense. Why is it good? Oh, well then just take the update and download. I speak of the truth. I like to hear the white person talking in the African. So Kelly said, maybe there must be some invisible word between English and French that I don't know about, and I just must be on the English side. So fuck you. We just go with that flow until we hit the waterfall or some shit. Thanks for riding over the cliff with me, man.
The slaughter of Coxsworth.
He's champing out.
First, I want to start off tonight by saying Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. For those who don't know, Cinco de Mayo is the day a coworker in a problematic hat is going to invite you out for margaritas.
So there's this internet piece of shit by the name of Chud the Builder.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
I'm not
Dumbass. This dude built his entire personality around being disrespectful and inflammatory as possible towards black people.
You gonna sneak up behind me like y'all like to do? Look at this chimping out. Look at this chimping out.
That's literally his brand.
Come over here and chimp out. Come here and chimp out.
This Wonder
Come on over here and chimp out.
This Wonder Bun is obsessed with black people.
What you doing? Don't let me go in this deep. Don't walk up on me. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing but chimp out.
That's his whole identity. He's obsessed with black people. He will literally go and provoke and bait them into reacting because he can't naturally find anything that actually supports the narrative he's trying to push. So instead of showing reality, he manufactures moments. He manufactures the chaos. Tries to get a rise out of people.
Let them know not to chimp out on people no more.
With Google Play Games, you can play unlocked. Unlock bigger screens and better controls. All for the crown. Go play on PC with Google Play Games. Download now.
I feel like they think they're doing something.
Are you good, bro? And then pretends that reaction proves his point, calling people soft, saying they're easily triggered, all while holding his weapon on the side or pepper spray.
Back up. Back up.
Stop saying nigga.
Or what?
Why you saying nigga for?
You might want to back up. You're going to get sprayed.
You saying nigga?
Because I can say it's America.
For what?
Because it's America.
For what?
Because I can say what I want.
Scary ass. When in fact, he's the filth. The moldy, sticky shit in the bottom of the dumpster.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay, well, move it.
Keep yourself. Don't chimp out. Look at him chimping out.
He says the most vile things to get people to react and call it chimping out.
Hey, look, somebody get him a banana. He's chimping out.
Nah, buddy. Only chimp I see is you. Begging to get banana peeled. And you know what they say. Shave a monkey, get a hump.
Bitch out of game with the fully on me. Talking like he don't when he not, I'll bully homie. Why the brother guns rock a phony? Put that tully on me. Bitch, throw that ass in a circle. 2 straps on me every day, bitch, I'm Urkel. Let a nigga throw the juice down, I'ma hurt you. They ain't outside, you little niggas got a curse.
I don't care.
I really don't give a fuck.
I'm the leader.
When you see a white girl with a black guy, entry should always be, hey, is this guy bothering you? This guy bothering you? This guy bothering you?
Because I'm white, 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 because I'm white.
On that wake up. This piece of frail, nutty shit built his entire identity around being the most annoying person in public. Walking up to people, minding their damn business. They minding their black business. They're not trying to bother anybody. They're just outside.
The constitutional right to record.
I
don't need to ask you if I can exercise my freedom.
Tell us you can't record anybody.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can. Y'all got to learn the law.
No, well,
y'all got to learn the law.
And here comes this dipshit with his goofy ass mustache and his punchable face, looking like he's stained. You look like you don't wash his ass. He looks real greasy and sweaty, and then starts saying the most disrespectful nonsense possible just to get a reaction.
Hey, chill. What up? Y'all chilling. Yeah, I know y'all are way too cool to chimp out.
And then he acts confused when people get mad, asking stupid questions like, why are you upset? Bruh, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know why.
I know. I'm just saying. I just told you. I'm going to you right here. Just back up a little bit. But I know y'all. I know you ain't on shit. Back up. You only need to go to... Hey, look at no paper spray out. Right now. Look at this. Chimping out. Yo, how we talk, bitch?
It's calculated. Rehearse stupidity.
Nigga, back up. Tell me something. What you talking about? Look at him chimping out. Yo. Y'all might want to back up. Yo. I told you back up. How's that feel?
This ass, this guy like the one the fuck.
I am alive. I am alive. I am cloud nine now, watch me shine. I'ma do what I like. I am alive. Your weight loss breakthrough has arrived with Wegovy and Hers. Lose up to 20% of your body weight starting at $149 a month. For the first time ever, get the FDA-approved Wegovy pill or pen through Hers. No insurance needed. If prescribed, Hers connects you to a licensed provider to develop a personalized plan, plus ongoing support from your care team. The new era of weight loss with Wegovy and Hers. Start today at forhers.com.
Daddy, you fucking done. Daddy. Fucking done. Now call the cops so you can go to jail.
This ain't free speech. This is content farming. You are baiting people so you can clip it, post it, and make money off of it. That's it. You're trying to spread your weird hate and obsession with black people. Make money off of black pain.
Anywhere you see these dumbass painted on the wall, you can bet your ass it's a shithole.
Every time. Dirty trash. Every time you see dirty trash. You know what I'm saying? Check.
And this dude strategically goes to a poverty-ass area where people are on dope, high as hell, higher than a Michael Jackson note. Old people, homeless people. These are the people he targets because he knows they're not going to do anything. He knows that they're not coherent enough to do anything. What he fails to show is nobody's trying to throw their life away over some dude cosplaying confidence. He's recording everything, and he's trying to make it seem like the black community is scared to approach him or do anything about it. And he's giving the wrong impression to his audience that you could just go and do this, and they're going to fuck around and find out the hard way.
It costs nothing to mind your own business.
This soggy bun, the uncle father bit, only does it in controlled situations. He only does it when there's a camera, when there's witnesses, when there's consequences for the other person. Because he knows, man. He knows people got jobs, families, records to protect. Ain't nobody trying to throw their life away for some dude that looks like their parents or brothers and sisters. And the second someone reacts, they're the ones getting arrested, not him. And he knows that. That's why the camera never turns off. That's why he instantly plays victim every single time. It's literally a setup. But take the camera away, that whole persona collapses immediately. Because now it's real life. No edits, no audience, no protection. And now you got to stand on what you said. And what happens? The tone changes. The energy drops. Black men are starting to call him out on Twitter.
Who is this Chud the Builder nigga? I swear to God, this nigga walk around buff with a Hitler mustache on his face calling people the hard on and shit, brother. You is not tough, brother. You only do this shit when you got a pole on you, brother. Because when that big buff security guard press you about it, You walked away like a good bitch, brother.
Trying to tell me this isn't a public easement? Stay right here. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, well, move it. Keep yourself. Don't chimp out. Look at him chimping out. Be a good boy. You heard me. Dumbass. You heard me. No, I'm good. We're live. Don't touch me, lady. I already said it to his face. Dumbass.
I'm glad you fucking banned. I'm smoking on your bin. Why the f you even allowed to stream on any platform, my nigga? Real shit. Why the f Kick even had you on a platform and had you verified after all the weird shit you be doing, brother? Like on some real shit, you are a coward.
And suddenly the same dude was loud all day is on the internet crying and playing victim. Oh, so now you're in your feelings. Now you're trying to say that this was all experimental and shit. Now it's relaxed, bro.
Believe in free speech? So you think white people should be allowed to say, but free speech? So free speech, anybody know what I'm saying? Everybody can say what they want, right?
Nah, don't relax now. Stand on it. But he can't. He can't do it because this was never real. This was all performance. It was all performative. And eventually stuff like this always catches up. He out here saying crazy shit.
Posture up. I really hope you want to. You want to step outside? Come on. Let's go. You act like you're going to do something. Square up then. Come do something. That's what I thought. Don't walk up to my truck.
No, but...
Don't walk up to my truck. Because I can. It's a f***ing America. I can say whatever words I want. You people need to learn that. Go get your homies. Keep chimping out. Booga booga. Keep chimping out. Keep chimping out.
I'm chimping out, nigga. I sit on
you. Chimping out, dumbass nigga.
Like, he didn't just see somebody get curved. But he got to realize that sometimes it'll be your own people. It don't even be us that do that. It don't even got to be us. It could be your own. However, in one clip, he did rage bait somebody to the point where they had enough. And somebody pulled out that blicky. Someone said, okay, yep, let me pull out the yapper.
Back up. Back up. Stop saying nigga.
Or what?
Why you saying nigga for? You might want to back up. You can get sprayed. Because I can say it's America. Because it's America. But why? Because I can say what I want. Yeah, get in the fucking car, boy. That's what I thought. Act like a civil individual. It's America. I can say what I want. You heard me, Nick. Welcome. No, we want it.
Does your internet bill keep getting higher? That's because typical internet deals are full of surprises. At Google Fiber, there's no install fees, no equipment fees, no nonsense. It's the same price every month. Visit fiber.google.com to get the same monthly price we've offered since 2012.
Welcome to America, buddy. The white man's back. She's recording like I'm not live. Buddy, you walk up over here with so I'll blow you. I would suggest you get the fuck away from me.
This dumbass, he's so stupid. You cannot expect everyone to be afraid to go to jail. There's always going to be that one person that does not give a fuck, and they will test your gangster. There's also some people, especially out here, especially in the Bay Area, Oakland, California, to Richmond, to Vallejo. A lot of people don't care about going to prison. They wear that as a badge of honor. It's not even about disrespecting them. You're disrespecting their mama, their daddies, their grandparents. That is a generational traumatic ass word, and people will take that seriously. You're gonna fuck around and find the right one, not the wrong one, the right one, and they will test you. And it looked like that was about to happen. So then he gets banned from the platform. And now suddenly he's online begging, and I mean begging. Started begging for donations. This incel went from free speech warrior to please donate to me now. in one session. He was broke, unemployed, had no money. And somehow people still sent his ass 40 racks. That's where we're at now, which just proves there is a whole fan base of people operating on airplane mode like this moron, who obviously has two relatives as their parents as well. But here's the real irony. He didn't get banned for the racist nonsense. Nah, that's not why. You gotta remember, Kickstream platform is a free speech platform. That is not why he got banned. He got banned because somebody pulled a yapper, the blicky, on him on stream. At that point, he's enticing riots, he's enticing violence, which goes against Kick's platform rules. And now that platform's like, yeah, we're not hosting live action bad decisions. We don't want to do that. Because realistically, no platform wants that type of liability. Let's be real here. And that's when reality did step in. Because this was never about free speech to begin with. It's about you wanting attention. And now that the attention comes with consequences, suddenly it's I'm being targeted. No, you're being held accountable. You don't get to build a career off of disrespecting, obsessing, and harassing black people. No. And then you expect sympathy. And like I said, they are on his ass on Twitter. I'm not even joking. He's getting cooked in real time. People are digging up old clips, old photos, everything. Even pulling up pics when he looked completely different. Like, bruh got a whole identity crisis going on. Apparently, the only thing straight about Chud is his family tree, the family tree line. There's no branches. It's just one tree line. What you need with that information. And then it gets even messier. People are exposing him from old apps. Old behavior, just showing that this image he's pushing now it's not even consistent.
Of course he's gay. This guy is the biggest plant and makes the worst content I've ever seen in my life. Anybody who just randomly walks up to people and says words for absolutely no reason is a loser. This kid is a plant. This motherfucker works for the CIA.
What are we talking about, Chad? So now we know everything he's doing is acting. He's doing it for the clips. Now trolling people saying, oh, it's because we respect freedom of speech. Calling people the hard R's for no reason. All for a clip, Chud? Chud used to be a fairy. Chud used to do cosplay. Bro, we can't take you seriously now.
And that's really what it comes down to. Clearly got a bunch of internal issues he hasn't dealt with yet. But instead of handling that like a normal person, he projects it outward. And who does he project it onto? Black people. And the wild part is people are saying the reason he even spiraled like this is because he lost everything after saying something reckless about the Black Lives Matter movement.
Learn a little bit about his origin story. How did this guy start off? So here's a post by this guy. Here is the original post that the BLM crowd canceled me for 2 years ago. I got fired and was forced to start my own company. Since I started my company, the chimps have been trying to starve and harass me the entire time. Professional victims, these guys. They want the gun to my head apology. It won't happen. Of course, his phone is on 1% when he posts this because this is a reflection of who this guy is as a person. His life has been falling apart his entire life. He's been a loser. He's been incompetent. He's been a lame his entire life. And then eventually he had the bright idea that he can just blame all of his problems that he has caused for himself on black people. And of course, he's holding up a cross because, again, Christianity is nothing more than a tool of white supremacy.
And if that's true,
I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm Candy.
My name is Gabe Hagan.
My name is Kim Daniels.
I'm a farmer in West Central Ohio.
My husband and I started a small business. This year was supposed to be a year of planning so my husband and I could retire. Then came the sudden tariffs. And the tariffs hit unexpectedly. We were completely gobsmacked.
And if that's true, then what are we even talking about? That's not oppression, that's consequences. Why are you talking shit? Why can't you mind your business? Why are you Wonder Buns obsessed with black people? I don't get it. Just another translucent bigot. And instead of taking accountability, he flips it and blames black people for his downfall. Bruh, buddy, going ruined your own situation. Nobody told you to move like this. Nobody. You woke up and chose stupid. You did. With your little 2 brain cells. You don't even see black and white. You just see black. You envy black people. It's weird. And why are you so fixated on one group of people anyway? Why is that your whole entire focus? Why not just mind your business and live your life? Your mustache look like it's stink. You look like you ain't bathed in days and you over here worried about black people. People try to play dumb and not understand why anyone could be upset over a word. People love to say it's just a word. No, it's not. It's not just a word. That word carries generational trauma. We're not talking about ancient history here. We're not talking about something that happened so long ago. We're talking about people's actual grandparents who are still living right now. People who were marched on, hosed down, humiliated in public. People who had the word used against them to strip them of their identity, just to dehumanize them, to remind them they were seen as less than. This didn't happen thousands of years ago. This happened little 50 years ago, barely, where they separated us and we had to drink out of certain water fountains and had to sit on the back of the bus. Couldn't even sit and enjoy a movie. Everything was segregated. I mean, even when black communities tried to build something for themselves, like Black Wall Street in Tulsa, they weren't allowed to just exist and thrive. The moment black success started to look like independence, it was treated like a threat. So what happened? They burned it down. Homes, businesses, generational wealth, all that was gone. And nobody was held accountable. Why? Because of racial injustice. Because the system allowed it. And this is an ancient history. This was happening in the same general era as some of the darkest events that happened globally. Like a dolphin, the idiot with the mustache. And let that sink in. That timeline overlaps more than people want to admit. And then you have cases like Emmett Till, a 14-year-old boy that was brutally unalived in 1955. How ironic, huh? Because the irony that this goofy, goofus-looking motherfucker is doing the same thing to black people what that translucent ditzy bitch did to Emmett Till. Whistling. Blowing whistles. Not hundreds of years ago. Not some distant past. Our grandparents were alive for that. Your president was alive for that. Yeah, he was young, but he was alive. Donald Trump is only 5 years younger than Emmett Till. When Emmett Till was brutally unalived at the age of 14, Donald Trump would have been 9 years old. That's only a 5-year difference. And this soggy bread want to say it's just a word. Somebody need to grab the whip and we need Django to come and whoop his ass. Where Django at? We need to get a belt. So when people say it's just a word, no, it's not. It's not just a word. That word comes from a time where violence, humiliation, unaliving was attached to it. And somehow y'all think it's nothing. We supposed to treat that like it don't carry weight. You guys are out your minds. He's just embedded with delusions. I mean, embedded, I promise. You damn right I'm pissed. I don't care. Ask me. It's crazy how everyone else's pain, history, and identity gets respected, but not black people's. And I'm sick of hearing black people even cape for the other side. They're like, well, they hurt black people too. A dolphin hurt black people too. Of course he did. The whole world did. They all did. But we cushion it for them, but don't cushion it for ourselves. That's crazy. That disconnect right there, that's the problem. And it's the fact that a dolphin actually looked at Jim Crow laws in the United States as a reference point. The way America treated black people, segregation, stripping rights, legalized discrimination, that was studied and used as a model when the Nazis were building their own racial laws. So with that being said, we got the bottom of the barrel of everything. And that was a word, a term to use against us to make us feel less than. It wasn't that long ago, man. So when someone hears that word today, it's not just sound. It's history, it's pain, it's everything that came with it. The same oppression that is implemented into the system to this day. And what's really ignorant is choosing to pretend you don't understand why that matters. You don't get to poke at something that deep and then act confused when people start to react. You don't get to disrespect people and then tell them how they're allowed to feel about it. And you don't get to complain about getting your ass beat. And that's not free speech. That's just willful ignorance. And people are absolutely justified in being angry about it. So when people act like this history is unrelated or distant, it's not. And what makes it even crazier is those same people will turn around and lose their damn minds over anything about juice boxes. They'll scream, cry, and act like the world is ending over statements that aren't even derogatory. I mean, Ye's HH song doesn't even say a racial slur. He says HH, and everyone cries and screams anti-Semitism. But when it comes to the hard R, suddenly it's relaxed. It's not that deep. Get over it. No, pick a side. Don't have them double standards. Y'all don't get to decide what's offensive for you and then tell everybody else what they should tolerate. You silly dumb fuck. And you can say whatever you want. Nobody is stopping you. I'm not stopping you. Say whatever you want to say, but you are not in control of how people respond to it. Some people don't care. Some people ignore it. But some people, they're gonna stand on it. And now you got Waka Flocka calling them out.
Hey, P-Gang, right? It's a little dude that I see. White kid right around asking black people how they tempted and shit like that. Calling them, hey bro, that shit lame. Let me tell you why. It's like, first and foremost, you run around blicked up, calling people, so they put their hands on you or shoot. You going to jail because they ain't even use a weapon. You dumb it. Number two, why are you antagonizing people to crash out? Number three, bro, you creating a race riot, bro. That America don't even need you right now. And then, nigga, if you want to, bro, just pull up in the trenches and do that shit. Like, bro, don't make the whole world, don't make the whole America, the white and black kids of America fight each other.
Waka Flocka made a post about me today. I guess white people aren't allowed to go hard in the paint. They are assembling the horde against me, bro. They've been doing that.
Random people on the internet calling this dude out. Half the timeline ready to square up. They ready to drag him by his mustache. His dusty ass, goofy ass mustache. And what's crazy is this ain't even clout anymore. This is literally how fast can I ruin my life. He's not building a platform, he's building a countdown to his demise. He's setting it up, and he don't even realize it. Or worse, he does realize it and keeps going. His brain is always looking like it's buffering, so I wouldn't be surprised. Eventually, you're gonna run into that one person when you're not filming, and not laughing, not thinking about consequences. You are literally live streaming your own downfall. This isn't content, bruh. This is self-destruction. This is a self-destruction documentary. And we over here watching every episode like, damn, we might as well start taking bets. Like, damn, I wonder when it's going to be. What video is it going to be? How long you going to get away with this one? And Karma hit this man like a jump scare in 4K. He was out here harassing a group of YNs doing the same goofy baiting routine. And you could literally see the vibe shift. And you could easily see that they wasn't here to play.
Freedom of speech. So white people can say nigga, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't do shit. Come on over here. You wouldn't do a goddamn thing. Hey, get away from my shit.
Welcome to Wix Harmony. Take the speed of AI and pixel level control to go from words into a full website that's entirely yours to shape. Need a new page, section, or a restyle? Ask Aria, your personal AI agent. And boom, there it is. Flow naturally between generating and doing it yourself. This is the new way to create Wix Harmony.
Mason, capture that gatehouse.
Hims offers access to personalized ED treatment plans with testosterone support, so you can upgrade your routine with doctor-trusted ingredients to Balafil and Zinc in a once-daily pill. Feel your best with treatment for ED plus testosterone support. Start today at hims.com.
That's what I thought. Touch my truck again. Come on over here. Come on over here. Oh, we're just getting your face on the live. Y'all going to jail. Y'all all going to jail. Let's see your face. Steve, come on, run. Give me my trailer hitch right now, Nick.
I was like, damn, this might actually go left. It started to get real. But instead of taking that as a sign to chill, this genius escalates it.
Citizen arrest. Citizen arrest. You're on the ground right now. Get on the ground. Your mom is, Nick. Get on the ground, Nick. Y'all going to jail tonight. You too, you fat bitch. Come sucker punch me then. Did you just hit me?
I will.
You just did.
Try me. Try me.
Over here spraying bear spray at a woman. How the hell you gonna provoke people, harass them, talk crazy, push them to the edge, and then suddenly act scared and start spraying people like you the victim?
Come on. Y'all going to jail.
Pick up the shit, bro. I swear to God, bro. One punch, go.
Please stop beating her.
Every one of them go to jail. Every one of them going to jail.
You recorded the whole thing.
It's live stream.
That's not how life works. It doesn't work that way. I know you're short on brain cells because you're a brother, cousin, but I mean, come on. You can't instigate chaos and then panic when the chaos answers back. Because legally, you could. You're cooked, bro. That is assault. They can press charges. They can sue you. And you basically handed them the evidence yourself. Congratulations, dummy.
12 seconds later.
She made me defend myself. Yeah, she ran up on me, hitting me. Hey, don't do
And honestly, the police showing up low-key saved his life because it looked like something was about to pop off for real. Carmen crashed out on him, jumped him, skeeted all on him. You should be thankful the police pulled up. It didn't look like it was going to end good at all.
Fragile, like...
I ain't gonna lie, it gotta be the softest niggas that's ever in Nashville.
Don't give him all that. He know what he doing. This motherfucker gonna say people are soft over there. That has nothing to do with it. Some states still have sundown towns. The uncle, brother, cousin fuck, he has numbers on his side.
I'm surprised that there's not somebody already that's just there just to wild out. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Again, I wouldn't put no money up because I don't put money on nobody's head, but I ain't gonna lie. The first nigga who do something to him, that nigga even make a GoFundMe, that shit gonna be lit. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, the GoFundMe for that person would have been, like, out the roof. Because I think it's something about how the dude is going with what he's doing. It pisses everybody off. It pisses every black person off, and I think it pisses the white people off, too. I'm telling you. The first thing will really just, I'm telling you, even if you get locked up, nigga, you make a GoFundMe, nigga, I'm telling you, you making at least $100 grand. Making it, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's something about it. It just enrages you. It makes you feel upset. And it's not even the word. It's how he's trying to antagonize.
Women, fragile like little women. Where's your daddy at? Did he teach you how to behave? Surely he's going to get milk still.
I actually agree. The first person crashing out on this dude is about to get a bag. He's going to be known to crash out on the on the soggy bread. So whoever crashes out on him is going to get a bag. It is what it is. But it's the obsession. I'm like, damn, why are y'all so obsessed? That's like the weirdest part. Why are you so focused on black people? Seriously, from the morning to night, that's your content. You have a fixation. You're not reacting to real situations at all. Not when you're creating them. Forcing moments, messing with people, provoking reactions, just to fit a narrative. Because it's not going to happen naturally. It's not going to happen naturally. It's all fake. You're creating chaos in real time. Harassing people, bullying people. That's not exposing anything, you're staging it. That's like lighting a fire and saying, wow, look how dangerous fires are. No shit, you started it. And you swear you're proving something. All you're proving is how empty your whole platform is and how empty your brain is. Because without reactions, what do you have? You have nothing. No substance, no message, and no value, just a stupid-looking mustache on your face. You're showing them something that's not the truth. They think they're going to be able to just walk up to people and say these things, and there's going to be a harsh reality check. And it's the fact that even people who look like you don't rock with you. That's how you know it's bad.
Leave me alone. Leave you. You because you're a fucking racist murder piece of shit. Look at everyone else that's looking at you.
Me and everybody here get along.
Okay.
You guys.
Completely and utterly rejected. You see, at first they didn't recognize it. And they looked at him and they probably thought, you know what, this ain't such a bad looking white guy, right? He has a camera, they're being friendly, but as soon as they see who he is as a person, they don't want him. And so to any white men who are falling down this rabbit hole, going down this red pill, Christian nationalism, conservative pipeline, understand that this is your destiny.
And you did all this to yourself. No one forced you. No one made you do it. You chose this. You chose to crash out and turn it into a personality. You chose to be obsessed with black people. And now this fake image, this fake personality is collapsing in real time. Exactly how it started. Just loud, messy, and completely self-inflicted. It's fussy. You don't get to run from this anymore. You signed your name to something deeper than ink, something that remembers. What's coming isn't punishment, it's completion. A quiet, inevitable closing of the door you already walked through. Planted this, the chaos, the lectures, the slow ride between people. You thought it was always something to laugh at, something to play with, but you were carving something open. And now it's looking back. You keep saying words like they're harmless, like echoes don't answer back over and over. Like a trying to pretend you don't believe in it. But repetition has weight. It has teeth. Before anything breaks wide open, before everything spills, something will meet you there. Something that does not forget. And it won't be loud. That's the worst part. It'll be quiet, close, personal. Because you touched things you were never meant to touch. That pain wasn't yours. Trauma that didn't belong to you. Shadows that never asked for your place. You mocked what still lingers. And now it lingers on you. This doesn't end with forgiveness. It doesn't end with an apology. Some damage doesn't care about regret. It ends with silence. And when it finally reaches you, when everything you laughed at stands in front of you, no one will step in, no one will soften, no one will even look away. Because this was always yours. Not fate, not chance, choice. And now it's finished. And the only question we have left is, why does Chud like sandwiches? Because he likes things in bread. No? Okay, I tried.
This man has Trump derangement syndrome. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, have you apologized to President Trump?
I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
No, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
On the afternoon of November 13th, 2024, not even 2 weeks after his stunning upset victory that allowed him to reclaim the White House, President-elect Donald Trump was flying aboard his own Trump Force One on a trip back from Washington. He had just spent 2 hours meeting with then-President Joe Biden, who assured a peaceful transfer of power would commence as planned on January 20th, wasting the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, in my opinion. Thus, Trump was faced with the task of filling out his cabinet. He had been announcing picks all week through emails sent out to the media by his transition team, though it was on this flight that a critical 2-hour conversation was being held. Who would become the next U.S. Attorney General? Discussing the matter with some of his top officials, which included the likes of Elon Musk, Susie Wiles, and his top legal advisor, Boris Epshteyn, a decision was finally made. By the time the plane touched down in West Palm Palm Beach, the news was already out, delivered not by his transition team, but by the president-elect himself on Truth Social. It was announced that Trump's first pick for the nation's top law enforcement official would be none other than Matt Gaetz, a Florida congressman and an unshakable defender of the MAGA movement. Oh yeah, and also an alleged sexual predator. Predictably, the pick sent shockwaves throughout the press. Gaetz had not only made a name for himself as one of Trump's most colorful and controversial advocates, he had also made headlines after the Justice Department, the one he would be theoretically leading, had investigated him for child sex trafficking that ended without charges in 2023. But Gaetz was also subject to a House Ethics Committee investigation that later found substantial evidence that he had had sex with a 17-year-old girl in 2017. As reported by the New York Times, the victim in question was a high school junior in Florida, working at McDonald's and living in and out of a homeless shelter. She had resorted to having sex with powerful men for money so that she may be able to afford braces. This was all going to be a problem for Gaetz, who, in order to join the new administration, would first need to get confirmed by a simple majority vote in the Senate. Although the Republicans enjoyed a slim majority, the question of whether or not enough members would be willing to set aside their morals to appoint an alleged pedophile as Attorney General was unclear. Senators like Tommy Tuberville and Lindsey Graham may have alluded to votes in the affirmative, but others like Lisa Murkowski, John Curtis, and Mitch McConnell had threatened to be spoilers. And when intervention from the president's chief loser failed to yield any results, the writing on the wall became clear. Matt Gaetz was considered too evil for even the most evil administration in modern history. So out stepped a Florida man and in stepped a Florida woman to fill his spot. The reported godmother to Gaetz' Australian Shepherd mix, who sure may not be accused of committing sordid crimes herself, but has certainly done a lot to protect those who have.
Out to the fallout, and it continues over the Justice Department's failure to meet the deadline to release all, that's what the law requires, all of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, they authored the law, announced late last night that they will bring inherent contempt charges against Attorney General Pam Bondi. In a statement, Khanna called the DOJ's failure to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, quote, an obstruction of justice, unquote.
This video is about Pam Bondi, one of the president's fiercest attack dogs, who made a name for herself by going after leaders who refused to comply with the president's hardline immigration agenda, threatening those who spoke ill of the president and his allies, and most notoriously, doing everything in her power to discredit and humiliate victims of one of the most prolific human traffickers and child sex offenders in American history. Amidst claims that this is somehow the most transparent administration to ever exist, Pam Bondi's Justice Department has been anything but. Join me as we explore the 14 months Miss Bondi spent atop the most consequential law enforcement body in the nation. She misused her position and power to protect those who most egregiously violated the law, and how future historians will look back on her reprehensible legacy. It's a legacy of failure, of cover-ups, and blatant disrespect of the victim.
You're going to get angry at this video. You're probably going to lash out at me in the comments. If you do, it means I'm doing my job correctly. It means I've hit a nerve because deep down inside, you know that I am correct. And it means that today, you're actually going to learn something, which is my entire goal. I want you to stop everything you're doing right now. Open a new tab, go to YouTube, and just type in Pokemon Reprint. Look at the results. Look at those channels. Now what you need to do is hit do not recommend and never watch another video from any of those channels ever again. Because if you're still taking any Pokemon advice from a guy who spends his day making soy-faced thumbnails and pointing red arrows at cardboard, you're being farmed. These people aren't experts, they're logistically illiterate. It's as if they think the Pokemon Company is some sort of a reactive vending machine, where a bunch of hype surrounds a set, prices increase, and they hit a button and reprints pop out. That's a flat-out lie. In the 30 years of the Pokemon Company, a true back-to-press reprint, where they actually restart the machine for a set, is so rare, it's the exception that proves the rule. It's happened maybe a total of 2 times. There was Roaring Skies in 2017, This gets cited often as a full reprint. But even then, the reality was it was primarily booster boxes. And the reason for this? To save the competitive scene from $80 Sheamus. That was it. It was for a competitive reason. And even then, it still doesn't appear that it was an actual full-blown back-to-press reprint of everything in the set. And then we had it with Hidden Fates in 2020. The reason for this? The pandemic boom and the ROI was just too massive for the Pokemon Company to ignore. Simple as that. Even with the Hidden Fates, in May 2020, they did a bunch of tins that came out. September of 2020, there was another large wave of tins that the Pokemon Company says were released to combat high secondary market prices. Whatever happened to those thoughts? But the big kicker was December of 2020, when they actually produced more ETBs. Those received a full reprint. However, still, stores got a much smaller amount than the initial run. Another example people like to cite is the XY Evolutions of 2020. This set was years old, but because of the pandemic hype, they actually printed fresh batches of the product. But you can tell because the shrink wrap on the box has changed, and the Pokemon logo on the plastic had a registered trademark symbol that wasn't on the 2016 original. And what's worth more, the original or the reprint? Hello, wake up. So why am I telling you to block these channels that create the reprint hype if it's happened maybe a few times in 30 years? Because these idiots use two anomalies to trick you into a false sense of fear, panic, and hype. They actually want you to believe the Pokemon Company, a giant global corporate monster, is a safety net that will swoop in to provide more supply, and you can get the cards later at a lower price. The reality is the exact opposite. The Pokemon Company has only done that a few times, and it's only for a couple of reasons. Either to save a tournament circuit or to drain your wallet with a high ROI cash grab. That's it, period. And if you look at the cash grab, that happened in an unprecedented era of a global pandemic that locked the entire world down. No one has ever seen anything like that before in our lifetimes, and the Pokemon Company panicked. They had no idea what to do, but everybody was rushing out buying Pokemon, so they clicked the printers back on to do a cash grab. The reason the reprint myth is so dangerous is because it's being used against you as a weapon. These channels scream reprint the second a few pallets move, creating a fake panic that scares you into selling your cards to bottom. You're not beating the trash, you're selling into a ghost. In 30 years, the Pokemon Company has hit the panic button maybe a handful of times for some competitive or corporate BS. And every single other time you saw a market crash video, it was a lie designed to make you dump your assets so the smart money could then buy them at a discount. If you sell your cards because the guy with the red arrow told you a 2017 style reprint is coming in 2026, you didn't lose to the market, you're losing to a fairy tale. What you need to understand is the Pokemon Company operates on a very rigid 6, 12, and 18-month production lead time. They recently signed a huge manufacturing lease, actually the largest in the country at 1.27 million square feet in Mooresville, North Carolina. But the new facility isn't scheduled to be fully operational until late 2028. Right now, the Pokemon Company is physically redlocked. They are at maximum capacity in their current Carolina facilities. Every second of press time was booked a year ago. We had Mega Evolutions, Phantasmal Flames, Ascended Heroes. We just had Perfect Order. We're waiting on Chaos Rising, Pitch Black. Then there's the 30th hype, which is going to be insane, and a whole bunch of products are coming. Next year's tech runs, those are already dialed in. So why does every investor channel look the same? High contrast text, big red arrows, and a title screaming, reprint. It's because they need your clicks to pay their rent money. They're not tracking data, they're farming your fear to trigger an impulse sell. The global retail system, Walmart, Target, and any other major distributor
can't physically move the total production of a set on launch day. There isn't enough trucking capacity or warehouse stuff. Because of this, the Pokemon Company simply ships in scheduled waves. It's a staggered release strategy. When that second wave hits a Walmart, these idiots start yelling reprint. That's absolute nonsense. That production was printed, palletized, and shrink-wrapped a year ago in Carolina, and has been sitting in a regional distribution center since. It's just waiting for its scheduled shipping date. There's no new supply. There's only the original supply finally reaching the end of the logistic line. You can look at the total incompetence surrounding the Set of Heroes booster bundle wave in April. Every channel spent weeks telling you the market was going to dump. People were talking as if they uncovered some sort of conspiracy. Told you to wait. Don't buy now. You can get it for less. And what happened? The single prices went higher. Why? Because the pull rates are atrocious. These idiots couldn't even create a dip in a set as strong as Ascended Heroes. And what did Smart Money do? We swooped in and bought as many booster bundles as we possibly could. That wave of booster bundles did nothing to the supply. It just reminded everybody how impossible the pull rates actually are. And the rip rates on Ascended Heroes are absolutely insane. People ripping booster bundles left and right, only to realize the Gengar is still roughly 1 in 1,500 packs. It's a ghost. You don't just stop wanting a card because it's hard to pull or because the product's not available. People just realize the market is undersupplied and they rush to buy the single. The rate doesn't kill the price. It just reignites FOMO. If you're listening to these clowns, you just wind up selling at the bottom. And the most critical part is you need to understand the Pokemon Company prints packs, not products. Manufacturing an ETB or special collection involves specific cardboard dies and plastic inserts. Once that specific run is over and the assembly line in North Carolina is broken down to make room for the next set, they don't ever reset it. Ever. It's too expensive and it disrupts the schedule for the next 10 sets. They already committed to those 10 sets 18 months ago. So what does the Pokemon Company do with the millions of leftover packs? They create Frankenstein's products, stuff them in generic tins and Costco bundles. Calling a random tin with 3 old packs of reprint is delusional. That's like calling a turkey sandwich a second Thanksgiving. You cannot reprint the demand of a sealed ETB by putting packs in a trash tier tin. The value of the original product remains untouched because the specific thing is never coming back. The Pokemon Company is a toy company, not a hedge fund. Their business model is built around standard rotations. Once it sets 18 to 24 months old, rotating out of tournament play, they have zero incentive to spend a single dollar reprinting it outside of a global catastrophe like the pandemic. If you're waiting on reprints to get into product, you are waiting on a ghost. Even if the Pokemon Company wanted to react to a price spike, the 12 to 18 month lag means by the time the cards hit the shelves, they wouldn't even be legal to play. They don't care about your portfolio. They care about what cards are legal in the next major tournament. Period. Stop listening to creators who treat the market like a lottery. Screaming about reprints that don't exist, that was already accounted for a year ago, it's ridiculous. If you want to survive in this market, you have to look at the logistics, the factory schedule, and the actual shipping date. There is no reason to guess at all. You either understand the supply chain or you are the supply. Period. The actual rule is that the Pokemon Company is a cold, vertically integrated machine that doesn't care about your portfolio. And because the market is this cold, you need a place where the hobby is actually human. That's why I built the TCGAutopsy.com. Right now, if you grab my #1 best-selling complete guide to Pokemon TCG and it's good. It's really 5 and more than 2 weeks. I appreciate everybody tapping into the channel.
sharing, love, liking, sharing, subscribing, stopping by, whatever you're doing. I appreciate this video as an entertaining place to learn. You respect all of this. See if everybody knows good numbers. I think good energy, good vibes. Got some good content to check out today. Still a lot of stuff going on in the world. They still kicking over there. They're straight for me. A lot going on, Still. Yeah. I don't take positive, man. Take it day by day. You know, it's going to tell you, I'll give you so much going on, man. So much stuff. It's going on. We got good content to check out.
How may I help you? Hi, April. My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing. And it's been about 3 hours.
Even behind his phone, his clothes.
He must have planned not to be found. He left his phone, he changed his clothes, and I don't know what. I think he's on foot.
He took with him a .38 caliber revolver and was never seen or heard from again.
Did he carry weapons on him? Well, not generally.
Crucially, McCaslin disappeared just a week after President Trump ordered the immediate release of the government's so-called alien files.
President Trump says he is directing the Pentagon to open files on aliens and UFOs. But why now?
Although the internet joked about seeing E.T. before GTA 6, the reality behind Neil's disappearance was truly dark. An investigation by a shadowy website called the Sentinel Network linked his disappearance to a disturbing pattern of more than a dozen missing or dead scientists and military personnel, all tied to the same space secrets.
5 of them went missing. 6 of them were dead. Of those 6, 2 of them were murdered.
Chavez, age 79, was last seen leaving his New Mexico home on foot, leaving behind his car, wallet, phone, and keys. Casillas, age 54, was last seen on camera walking alone on a highway, also without her wallet, phone, or keys.
She was about 30 feet behind that person she was hiking with, smiling and waving. He turned around. Next thing you know, she was just completely gone.
Richard killed his wife, placed her body into the trunk of their car.
The officer reports seeing a vehicle parked there with the trunk open. When the officer approached, police state a man was laying on the ground, a handgun nearby.
Jamie Gustitis was dead upstairs. Officers were here for nearly 40 minutes, and not once did they go inside her home.
The scene where Amy was found, there were, once again, inconsistencies. She was right-handed. The gun was found on the left side.
Nothing was known about the shooter. The since the deal made a disturbing sound during the massacre. Some witnesses said no. There are some that say he made a barking list. Don't ask.
I don't know why. Because McCaslin was no ordinary retiree. He'd spent decades working in America's most secretive programs.
A former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, the organization responsible for advanced military technology and science. Base that he once led, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, is historically linked to Project Blue Book. This is the reported U.S. military's official investigation into UFO sightings.
He was someone that Congressman Tim Burchett described as the ultimate gatekeeper of the government's UFO secrets.
He's the guy that was had a lot of nuclear secrets and was allegedly the gatekeeper, and I've been told by several sources that he was the gatekeeper for the UFO stuff.
And as head of the Air Force Research Laboratory, he allegedly oversaw the retrieval of alien spacecrafts and life forms that had crashed to Earth.
General Neil McCaslin ran the whole joint. He told Tom DeLonge that during the Cold War, the United States found a life form, an alien life form, and that he retrieved and oversaw the retrieval of alien spacecraft.
But what McCaslin's disappearance exposed might just be history's most lethal cover-up. The secret so dangerous, it reportedly cost American presidents their lives.
This is the head of the CIA, MJ1.
Going against the president's wishes of finding out more.
Which we cannot allow. If that was in 63, he was dead 1 month later in Dallas.
And even now, it continues to threaten the lives of leaders all over the world.
Now, I got told by people very close to the Trump camp that in his first administration, he was going to make a disclosure about UAPs. But the commander-in-chief of the US military was scared of his own government. He became aware that there are forces inside the US government that frankly would and have killed to protect this secret.
Even as the House Oversight Committee exposed decades of government secrets, revealing to the public for the first time that they actually did possess UFOs and alien bodies.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human.
From here, scientists and whistleblowers would continue to vanish. But whether the trail of deaths and disappearances was caused by humans...
Do you have any personal knowledge that people have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal this extraterrestrial technology?
Yes, personally.
Aliens?
So there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
What I personally witnessed myself and my wife is very disturbing.
Well, something else entirely still remains unknown. Drawing on declassified government files and insider accounts, this story goes far beyond just UFO sightings.
There is an object that another country has. This object is so big that they had to build a building around it.
I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, you know, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people we never existed. These are the deepest secrets that governments have allegedly killed people to protect.
Didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening?
So today, we'll be uncovering the murders and disappearances tied to UFOs and aliens all around the world, revealing once and for all the dark, hidden truths from space that the government is trying to bury.
What do you think is happening here? Do you think that this is connected or totally random?
Well, I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half.
I wanna get to them racks, get to that money, I wanna be ballin'. If you won't break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case, or you might wanna call them. If you're hurt by someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid 35 years of results, so you can trust them with your case. America's largest injury law firm, but not all law firms are built the same. The big one is a big mistake, it's the wrong law firm and you're out the game. They got more than 1,000 lawyers, so you know that they're ready for battle. With 100 offices nationwide, so take them a case to tackle. They recovered over $30 billion for all their clients, and the fee is free unless you win, so you might want to try. I want to get to them racks, get to that money, I want to be ballin'. If you want to break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case, or you might want to call them.
You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/TrapLawRoss. Link in description, or you can scan the QR code on screen using your phone camera. Thanks, Morgan & Morgan. Back to the video. Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving loss of life. We've removed any graphic content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. We aim to provide informative, factual journalism on a tragic event in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips are used under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis. Some points made in this video are opinions and theories. I'm not responsible for third-party information. If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/TrapLawRoss, where you can get those for just $2. Also, you can now watch my new drops on Spotify, so go search me there. Here's the video. In June 2022, 34-year-old scientist Dr. Amy Catherine Eskridge reportedly life in Huntsville, Alabama. This is a city known as the Rocket City for its major role in sending the first man to the moon. However, nearly 4 years after her death,
Amy's business partner Samuel Reed would post a message that reframed everything. He wrote, "I refrained from posting this for 4 years since my co-founder Amy Eskridge was killed." He closed with saying, "I no longer fear their death threats. God bless you, Amy." And to support his claim, Reed shared screenshots of Amy's messages from the weeks before her death, where she detailed receiving daily threats and explained that it all started after a voice recording she made on her own phone about a major breakthrough in space technology. She would add that she felt she had crossed an invisible line and was now under surveillance after her discovery, going on to confess the terrifying belief that her name had now been placed on a kill list. Perhaps most disturbingly, Amy insisted that if she died, it would not have been by no matter what anyone else would claim. While reports suggested that she did die from a gunshot wound, she had explicitly told Reed that she would never use her own gun for that use. But Sam Reed was not the only one questioning Amy's death, because before she disappeared, she had shared photos of mysterious burns and scars with colleagues, including former UK intelligence officer Frank Milburn. Moreover, in 2025, journalist Ross Coulthard alleged that Amy was murdered after being targeted with direct energy weapons.
I actually spoke to Amy Eskridge. I don't think she killed. I do think there's a very high likelihood she was murdered. She genuinely feared that somebody was trying to hurt her or kill her. And I've got photographs, harrowing photographs of burns that she allegedly suffered from some kind of directed energy weapon that she believes was directed at her.
And according to him, she'd been studying the same UFO technology that the US government had safeguarded since the 1970s.
It's quite obvious that the United States has been working on anti-gravity right through the 50s, 60s, and then it all went dark. And the reason it went dark, I think, is because they had a breakthrough, and it was all buried.
A giant cover-up that a 2022 congressional hearing would reveal had actually indeed included murders.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes.
Anyone been murdered that you would think, that you know of?
I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities.
Growing up in Huntsville, Amy understood that city's strategic significance. She considered it one of the most important cities in the United States.
I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I know I've said that several times. We're the Rocket City. We're the biggest deal you've never heard of. Von Braun was here and we won the space race.
As well as one of the first places that enemies would target in a war with America.
Huntsville is like the hub. Like, we are number 3 on the First Strike launch list. If First Strike happens, 3 targets, Huntsville will be one of them. Alabama. This is an Alabama dude in the Deep South. Like, Huntsville is the hub of, if a nuclear weapon is coming to the U.S. from Russia, how are we going to see it? Most importantly, how are we going to shoot it down?
After double majoring in chemistry and biology, she earned master's degrees in electrical engineering, physics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. And together with her father, a retired NASA specialist, she entered the secretive world of gravity technology, intentionally conducting her work publicly so her disappearance would be noticed.
I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through. Because, I told Mark this, if you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news.
As well as believing that the government would let her continue her research.
He was like, if you haven't had a U.S. government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the f*** up, stop, shut the f*** up. If that hasn't happened, they're going to let you do it. They're going to let you do it this time. He said it's been suppressed every other time. This time, they're waiting for someone to publish.
Yet the dangers of this research soon become apparent. During a 2018 presentation, a crowd member would reference the disappearance of another Rocket City scientist, Dr. Ning Lee, and what seemed like something of a threat.
So what about the innovator who's afraid of disappearing?
That's a whole new problem.
Even if you do it in public, it still don't mean that the inventor won't disappear. We're a lot of people.
Like Ning Lee.
By 2020, Amy talked about coming home to find her windows had been opened and her belongings had been searched.
Didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it? What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. We have gone to work. I noticed the window was still open. I go to work, I leave it open. I come back like an hour later and the window is closed. I walk into our bedroom and my panty drawer has been dug through and there are pears thrown on the floor. so that I will notice that my panty drawer has been dug through.
She would also detail the direct energy attacks that she alleged that she was experiencing.
I've been typing on this my computer right here, super sensitive for the past several days, with this window right here to my right, and that window door right there to my left. And my hands have been burned to hell and back as I've been typing.
With her systems often being eased only when she blocked her windows.
I feel better immediately. Like, my hand's still burned because there's damage.
Reinforcing her belief that she was indeed under surveillance and attack.
You can't hack the computer because there's no Wi-Fi card. But you can send microwaves in to get a 3D image of me typing on the keyboard, and you can reconstruct what I'm typing by microwaving me.
Moreover, fellow researcher Mark Sokol witnessed the attacks and described a bowl of popcorn in Amy's hand popping right before one while mysterious vehicles had idled outside.
Yeah, so when she was here, we were sitting on the couch, and we had just made popcorn. We were going to watch a movie. And the popcorn in the bowl started to pop again. And she started to like scream and vomit. She's telling me they're attacking us. Parked across the street in where there was a parking lot. The car was parked not in a parking spot, but like facing the door.
From here, things only got worse. In Amy's final messages, she would reveal stalkers had been confronting her, apparently with intimate knowledge of the results of her recent MRI scans, and apparently they had even attempted to get her dental records through an Israeli firm. From here, apparently the threats would escalate. Amy received increasingly psychological and eerie messages, which she claimed were instructing her to end using nursery rhymes, while others tried to lure her into isolated areas late at night, which she recognized were apparent attempts to try and stage her death, repeatedly warning everyone around her that if she died, it wouldn't be a decision. In her final weeks, Amy would claim that she had recorded a breakthrough discovery on her hacked phone, which she feared put her on a kill list. And after consulting with high-level insiders, including a retired general rumored to be William McCasland himself, she concluded that the danger came not from the government itself, but from private contractors and military companies guarding their billion-dollar profits. Tragically, by June 2022, Amy was dead, just weeks after sending these warnings. Following her death, congressional testimony in 2023 alleged that a private aerospace company had indeed used energy weapons against her and killed her. By October 2025, journalists revealed that Amy had been quickly cremated without even staging an autopsy.
There's a whole lot of unexplained stuff. The difficulty is that her body was apparently cremated shortly after her death. There was no full coronial inquiry. I did make inquiries with local police about why there wasn't going to be a full coronial inquiry, and it was because of the finding.
Confidential sources claim that the gun used to fire the fatal shot was actually in the wrong hand.
The scene where Amy was found, there were once again inconsistencies. She was right-handed. The gun was found on the left side of her body.
Finally, on April the 18th, 2026, her father would publicly dispute the claims of a murder.
Richard Eskridge, he did not want to be interviewed, but he told me on the phone, scientists die also, just like other people.
Yet many people online weren't convinced, and the suspicions only continued. But unfortunately, Amy wasn't the only anti-gravity researcher to die under mysterious circumstances in Rocket City. More than 2 decades before Amy Eskridge had entered the field, another scientist in Huntsville, Alabama, was already breaking ground. After emigrating from China, Dr. Ning Li quickly established herself as a leading researcher in the city, while throughout the 1990s, she published revolutionary papers focusing on negating gravity, with findings that proposed technologies that could make vehicles hover silently in the air and move at incredible speeds in any direction, just like the rumored UFOs. As her work progressed from theory to application, Lee founded AC Gravity to build her inventions herself. However, this drew immediate attention from the US government, and in 2001, she received a $500,000 Pentagon grant that came with strict secrecy conditions, a strategy later cited by Amy Eskridge as typical suppression of technological breakthroughs.
Great data. You apply for more funding to test it more thoroughly, they cancel it. It goes to the NASA divestment. It goes to the auction block. People bid on it. And literally scrap metal vendors win the bid and melt it down for scrap metal and sell it.
Consequently, Lee's research became both groundbreaking, secret, and highly monitored. By 2003, the public last saw Dr. Lee when she presented on the topic of gravity under the close supervision of a high-ranking Army official, soon after sending cryptic messages that hinted at a major breakthrough. Yet from here, she disappeared from public life, and it would take more than 20 years to find out what happened to her. Emails sent to her from journalists didn't get any responses, while colleagues insisted she remained active, working on projects that were too classified to speak on. Then, in 2004, Navy pilots off the coast of California reported signs of wingless, tic-tac-shaped spacecraft performing maneuvers that actually matched Lee's impossible physics.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on that thing. My God.
These 3 videos, released by the Department of Defense, have changed the way many people see what we can't explain.
The moment you mention UFO, immediately what comes to mind are little green men, tinfoil hats. That's not at all what we're dealing with.
As soon as we look down, we see the whitewater, and then we see this little white tic-tac. It's pointing north-south, and it's just going forward, back, left, right.
Fravor says the F-18s began circling, Fravor at 20,000 feet, the so-called tic-tac only about 50 feet above the surface of the water.
And then it starts coming up at us. We call it two-circle fight, but it's coming up, I'm coming down. So it literally is aware we're there. There's no doubt, because it mirrored me.
This was something that journalist Ross Coulthard later linked to Lockheed Martin, the world's largest weapons manufacturer, alleging a secret operation hidden by the government and corporate interests.
The Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to?
By 2008, rumors would spread with physicists claiming that Dr. Lee had actually defected to China.
She disappeared for several years. The people at the Pentagon who were in touch with her cannot reach her anymore. She is allegedly back in China, and the Chinese, Red Chinese, are putting a lot of money into these projects.
But the government neither confirmed nor denied that story. By 2018, when Amy was being threatened using Dr. Lee's name, Lee was a ghost in the Rocket City scientific community. Then, after 20 years of silence in 2021, a brief obituary would reveal out of nowhere that Dr. Lee had died peacefully at age 70, astonishingly, without ever leaving Huntsville, Alabama. It took a year and the Huntsville Business Journal tracking down her son to finally uncover the full story of her disappearance. This would reveal that her public absence had actually begun with a tragic accident in 2014 when she was struck by a car on the University of Alabama campus, leaving her with permanent brain damage and an Alzheimer's diagnosis that abruptly ended her groundbreaking career. Tragically, her husband of 46 years had witnessed the crash at the moment of impact, suffered a serious heart attack, and died the following year. This left Lee's son George to care for his mother in complete isolation for 6 years. And for a few years, this was the accepted narrative until her own colleagues questioned the official account, because Jim Landreth would point out that neither police nor university records ever documented the accident.
So today I called them. I got through to their records keeper, and he said, no, there is no record of it. And it was not responded to by them or their departments.
Emphasizing that the 25-mile-an-hour campus limits made such a crash pretty unlikely. Furthermore, discussions in scientific circles would suggest that Lee may have been battling cancer, and her colleagues corroborated that her breakthroughs were far more advanced than NASA's projects.
She did make claims that she was getting what she called an AC gravity effect, right? That no one else... Yeah, no one else had gotten those kind of results. She had apparently gone further than NASA had gone with her research.
She claimed, yeah. While noting that if Lee had attempted to patent her discoveries, the government likely would have blocked her.
If she had discovered something, maybe she was going for a patent or some kind of intellectual property rights.
The DoD captures technology that it likes, and makes sure that it doesn't escape into the wild. Even if you don't quell it, you make sure that it stays in-house.
To this day, the details of her research remain classified, and even basic funding information would be withheld by the government. Ultimately, though, while Dr. Lee's gravity-defying research was being buried in Huntsville, the man at the very top of Lockheed Martin was also not safe once he decided to tell the truth. On May 28, 2018, Dr. James T. Ryder reportedly died, yet the only public record of his passing was a sparse Ancestry.com listing noting his name, birthplace in Chicago, parents, and death in California. Despite this, Ryder had spent over 40 years at the heart of America's defense industry, eventually rising to be a vice president of Lockheed Martin, the world's most secretive defense contractor.
There is a place where we imagine the impossible, where the powers of machine and nature become one.
During his tenure, Ryder oversaw the nation's most classified projects, including Skunk Works, Lockheed's division responsible for top-secret aircraft.
Are any of you willing to name specific gatekeepers within the root cell of the UAP-SAP Federation?
Well, one of them was named Dr. James Ryder at Lockheed.
Moreover, his work laid the technological foundation for NASA's Artemis spacecraft for the 2026 moon mission. Over decades, he earned trust to access some of the country's deepest secrets, yet few outside of his inner circle knew the full scope of his work. Then, in 2008, Ryder stepped into extremely dangerous territory. At the same time, a small group of senators and intelligence officials had quietly been investigating UFOs. And in his capacity as vice president of Lockheed Martin, Ryder made a startling proposal. When he identified a facility where Lockheed held material from 1950 UFO crashes, offering to turn over. Importantly, the facility was linked to the root of UFO secrecy, which many people trace back to Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, where US Army forces recovered strange debris, first calling it flying disc, before quickly retracting the statement and claiming that it was from a secret balloon project.
July 16, 47, that was the first crash of an alien spaceship. July 6th is when they recovered it and sent it to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. July 7th is when they held a press conference and told the people it was a weather balloon, which the press brought to flying fingers.
Over the years, some whistleblowers have suggested the material wasn't just balloon wreckage, but evidence of non-human technology that the government had then attempted to reverse engineer.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Consequently, Roswell became a turning point leading to a classification system that was so secret the entire program was under public oversight.
It seems to me that these two fightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
Whistleblowers, even from presidents themselves,
don't see any reason why our government is behind it. I don't like going into a meeting and unelected bureaucrat tells us that the president is on a need-to-know basis. To me, that should be very telling to America that there's a lot more going on just behind the scenes, and we're aware.
So it was this material that was originally controlled by the CIA's science division, with Ryder's request to access it being personally blocked by the division's director. According to reports, it was one of the few times in decades that Ryder actually feared for his life. 3 months later, he had officially retired from Lockheed Martin. Yet after retiring in 2011, Ryder made a choice that may have cost him dearly. Rather than stepping aside quietly, he began funding private research. By 2017, he was speaking publicly about evidence of aliens that spanned tens of thousands of years.
The top there are lots of these. I didn't put the phone, you can't call me. Lots of these things look like alive. They have eyes, noses. They sure look like some of the space people you see in UFOs sometimes. You see more of those. Below that, there are all these drawings. And if you're a UFO enthusiast of that type, there's your first UFO, 42,000 years ago.
In one revealing account, he even described the UFO encounter.
Oh, that's right, working in a forest. Where the investigators were sent to study it. They're still there. To their surprise, they did see a bright something. It was like a UFO. And they tried to touch it and reported no.
So these are scientists.
These are highly trained technical people. What I did in that case is ask the question to the investigators. Go back and ask them a different question. Don't ask them if they touched themselves now. Ask them, did they feel like there was a pressure on their hand and that the pressure gets greater? What they felt was that the closer they got their hand to the light, the more resistance until they reached the point that the light was blowing around their hand and they could not make their hand go any further.
Claiming that they used telepathic communication to transfer thoughts between minds and suggesting that that was a real thing.
Is there telepathy? Absolutely. Telepathy works just fine. My friends who did some of the other things, and now their work's been published, and they did the first works in 40 years ago. Dr. Paul's one, Dr. Tarr, who's worked for me for years, is another one. It's fun. See?
After decades in secrecy, Ryder told an audience how liberating it felt to finally speak freely. But tragically, just 1 month after that talk, Ryder was dead. His Ancestry.com obituary listed no cause of death, and there were no public tributes after 40 years of working in Lockheed Martin. He received no recognition in scientific journals, no alumni notice from his university where he earned all 3 of his degrees. He just passed away months after speaking publicly about alien technology, and that was the end of the conversation. In June 2022, NASA took a huge step that would have seemed unimaginable just years earlier. At that moment, the agency announced it would formally study UFOs, signaling that the conversation could no longer be ignored. Then, by July 2023, attention would shift to Washington, where 3 military veterans delivered explosive testimony during a historic congressional hearing. First, former UAP task force lead David Grush alleged secret government programs existed that had discovered non-human craft and even alien bodies.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Next, retired Commander David Fravor described the 2004 Tic Tac encounter, an event that defies known physics.
The controller told us that these objects been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space.
Meanwhile, pilot Ryan Graves reported seeing strange objects almost daily off the Atlantic coast.
After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter.
Together, they warned that these objects posed risks to flight safety and national security, and additionally claimed that whistleblowers face retaliation for exposing the truth.
I call it administrative terrorism. That's their quiver. Their tool in the toolbox to silence people, especially, the career government service cares about their career, cares about their clearance, their reputation, to climb the ladder. And when you threaten that flow career path, a lot of people back off.
Then, just 4 days later, under the cover of the ongoing media storm, a 59-year-old NASA scientist named Michael David Hicks would die quietly in California.
At the time, his death barely made headlines. But now, nearly 3 years later, there is renewed interest in what happened to Michael David Hicks. Why? Hicks, a NASA scientist who spent decades studying asteroids and deep space, died in 2023 at the age of 59. No public cause of death has ever been released.
Importantly, Hicks was no minor figure. He had just spent 25 years at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the center that built and operated America's robotic space missions. Moreover, while other NASA centers focused on astronauts, JPL was sending rovers to Mars, and over decades, Hicks earned a reputation as a leading comet and asteroid expert. Eventually, his work played a key role in DART, when NASA demonstrated that it could knock an asteroid off course to protect Earth. Furthermore, through NEAT, he spent decades tracking asteroids and comets to threaten the planet, placing him at the critical intersection of space exploration and planetary defense. However, neither his obituary nor memorials provided a cause of death, and similarly, no public autopsy record was ever found. Consequently, just as Washington was consumed by talk of aliens, one of NASA's most experienced observers was quietly buried. Then, 3 months later, NASA released its final UFO report, stating that it found no evidence that aliens or UFOs existed.
Based on our current findings and methodology, that we find no evidence to suggest that UAP are extraterrestrial noise. And previous work from the RF has shown that most events are explainable as planes, balloons, drones, weather phenomena, and instrument features.
In months following Hicks' unexplained passing, and silence would continue, culminating nearly a year later with the equally puzzling death of another top researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Nearly a year after the mysterious death of Michael David Hicks, another NASA scientist quietly died in Los Angeles. This time it was Frank Werner Mywald, a longtime principal researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. For nearly 3 decades, Mywald had been a leading figure at JPL, developing advanced satellite technology used to study Earth and other planets. Then in June 2023, just 13 months before his death, his work shifted towards one of science's biggest questions, whether life exists beyond Earth. Notably, he was leading breakthrough research to help future missions detect signs of life on worlds like Europa.
The most exciting thing about Europa can be summarized in one word: water. Now think about all the water on Earth. Double. That's what we think is on Europa.
We need to go there to explore it, to understand, is this place a habitable environment that could potentially support life?
Enceladus.
There's a lot more to Enceladus than meets the eye. Active, icy world
jets of water vapor pouring out from the southern hemisphere. What would be incredible is a probe that could either make its way into Enceladus' ocean somehow, or, at the very least, search the dunes for signs of life.
And Ceres.
The possibility of saline oceans existing beneath Ceres' surface leads to another fascinating proposition, that Ceres is currently in a state close to what Earth was like before life sprung forth.
Some of the most promising places in the solar system for extraterrestrial life. Yet quietly, my world died at 61, despite his role as a JPL principal and honor reserve.
Bugger all! Let us eradicate that monstrous monument to vanity! We shall draw the dark eagle from its nest! This is shite! Fuck!
Damn it. I cannot understand it.
My brothers, do not let the dream of Agatha die.
She's coming.
The reclamation of Monk Ulmus.
Advance!
The Genosians have come out to meet us on the field this day. They desire honorable combat, and they shall have it. This castle flew under the blue and gold banners long ago. Come night, it will once more. A new day rises, a new dawn for Agatha. Let the enemy hear your roar. For Argon!
We need to disable the artillery atop our old fortress. Prepare to attack. Agathians, we need petards to breach the walls. Bring those carts forward. petard cart is halfway there. Keep pushing. Excellent! The petard carts are in position. Ready an assault on the walls! Use the petard carts on those walls to weaken them. Obviously.
Bro, who the fuck is this thing? Who the fuck is this thing, man? No, I don't know.
Leave no one alive! Your ass must get jealous of the amount of shite that comes out. This is bullets! This is bad!
No, no, I was working, bro. You can't kill me, man. You gotta at least let me fight back. Yeah.
Screwed! Sod my ass!
Ah, that's my fault. I should have just left with dumb shit. Like there's no excuse to that.
Trump is the most ignorant president in American history. Not just the dumb moments, but the lies, the corruption, the war crimes, the depravity, and dementia. In a world full of lying, cheating, self-serving politicians, Trump tops them all. Nixon was done for Watergate. Trump has multiple Watergates every week. Nobody outside America understands how 77 million people genuinely voted for this geriatric man-child. Vote for a felon and this is what you get. April has been such a terrible month, with the absolute worst of Trump on full display. That's why, in honor of the 25th Amendment, I am making a two-part series with 25 Trump dumb moments. You might think Trump will sue me after this video. After all, the guy has filed more lawsuits than he has brain cells. But I don't care. If you're new here, I will always tell you the unfiltered truth. That's why I document these dumb moments, to demand accountability, to inform the good people of the world and warn them. If you think that matters, then subscribe, like the video and share. As always, thank you so much for the love and support. And for all the people who commented only 10 on my previous videos, don't you dare comment only 25. Okay, let's begin with number 25.
Call it. Hit the red button. Yeah. And then comes the diet soda pop, which is, your dad argues that diet soda is good for him because it kills grass. It's poured on grass, so therefore must kill cancer cells inside the body. So we're trying to please. I'm not even going to argue this right now. We were on Air Force One the other day, and I walk in there because he wants to talk about something, and he's got an orange soft drink on his desk. Fanta. Yes, Fanta. That's what I didn't want to say the brand name on the podcast. He's got Fanta on the desk, and I say, "Are you kidding me?" So he starts with like sheepishly grin because this is good for me. It kills cancer cells. And then he tells me it's fresh squeezed. So how bad could it be for you? Okay, but then maybe he's onto something because I will say this. I know a lot of guys pushing 80.
Diet soda kills cancer cells because it kills grass. He is onto absolutely nothing. What kind of logic is this? Trump has genuinely lost his mind. American Fanta looks radioactive. How can one look at this and think it's freshly squeezed? And remember when Trump mocked Biden when he announced he was diagnosed with cancer? He said Biden was vicious, and he told people not to feel sorry for him. And now Trump himself is apparently fighting cancer, but treating it with diet soda. Karma is real. Okay, number 24.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? These should be politically motivated.
All violence. I'm concerned about everything. But I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily. They die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession.
Number 23 now.
What? Well, we'll see. I mean, we have a very good relationship with Iran right now, as hard as it is to believe. And I think it's a combination of about 4 weeks of bombing and a very powerful blockade. The blockade is maybe more powerful than the bombing, if you want to know the truth.
You come again? You bomb their country, kill their leaders, kill more than 3,000 of their civilians, destroy schools, hospitals, and bridges. You call their people animals, but now it's all hugs and kisses? Now, some of you might see this as dementia, which it may be, but at the same time, Trump is manipulating the markets and raking in hundreds of millions of dollars from insider trading. The oil markets are very sensitive to what Trump says. A single tweet can move billions of dollars in seconds. And insider trading within the Trump regime is rampant.
It also brings that are being placed as well on the Iran conflict too, and there have been some trackings where people suspect that there's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war.
Well, you know, the whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino. And you look at what's going on all over the world, in Europe, and every place they're doing these betting things. I was never much in favor of it. I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is. No, I think that I'm not happy with any of that stuff. But
see, Trump couldn't care less. His inner circle is fleecing the American people. Anonymous traders have placed billions of dollars in bets, and they happen to be perfectly timed. February 27th. The night before the US struck Iran and killed Ayatollah Khamenei. along with scores of senior Iranian leaders. 150 anonymous accounts on Polymarket placed bets that the US would strike Iran the next day. The next day, America and Israel struck Iran. April 7th, just hours after Trump threatened to end Iran's entire civilization. Multiple anonymous accounts placed bets that a ceasefire would be announced, hours before any public announcement. And on the same day, certain traders spent $950 million on oil futures, betting that the price of oil would fall. $950 million. Perfectly timed. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in coincidence. Trump's inner circle knows what he's going to say before he says it, and they are positioned to profit every single time. See, this was never about Iran's nuclear program. This was never about protecting America. Always follow the damn money. Number 22.
The White House, I met a wonderful woman named Sharon Simmons, a grandmother driving DoorDash to help support her husband's cancer treatment. He's got serious cancer. He's going to be okay, I think. Sharon delivered McDonald's to the Oval Office. It was a little bit of a, to be honest, it was a little tacky. They come up with these crazy ideas like McDonald's.
Another desperate stunt from Trump. A staged PR operation. A grandmother forced to work for DoorDash. Not because she needs something to keep her occupied, but because her husband has cancer and the bills are destroying what's left of their savings after a lifetime of work. How the hell is this good for PR? This isn't some heartwarming story of American strength and resilience. This clip doesn't show Trump's compassion. It shows his economy perfectly. A grandmother who should be retired and relaxing is working day and night delivering food because America doesn't take care of its people. And Trump's big solution to all of this? No tax on tips. The no tax on tips is really just a scam. You might not know this, but in America, the minimum wage for tip workers is $2.13. $2.13 per hour. And the federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. Tipping was introduced after the Civil War, so certain employers can avoid paying newly freed black workers proper wages. Slavery, but with a small tip. Most tipped workers don't earn enough to pay federal income tax anyway. The policy helps almost no one. What they do rely on, desperately, is SNAP, Medicaid, LIHEAP, the federal programs that keep them afloat. The same programs Trump is cutting to the bone. Tipping culture in America was already out of control. Trump just made it much worse. Because now that tips are tax-free, employers have every financial incentive to expand tipping, or to convert non-tipped positions into tipped ones, to keep wages as low as legally possible, to transfer the burden of paying workers from themselves to the customer. What would actually help workers is an increase to the minimum wage, which hasn't been touched since 2009, despite all the inflation since. But obviously Trump isn't interested in that. He just wants to make his billionaire buddies richer, not ordinary Americans. Number 21.
Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing? Are you concerned? Circulation way down at the New York Times. What's going on?
That your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to?
No, not at all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators.
Why would that?
And because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violate international law.
You no longer have credibility at the New York Times. Because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times.
Bluetooth pairing.
Ascend to the gatehouse wheel! We're screwed! That's enough!
The wretched shall be purified by pain, dashed into pieces, and consumed by the fire of death.
And turn the push on its back! What? Not good! We cannot afford to lose any more men! Retreat!